Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Breakfast with Roger and Friends on this beautiful fall Thursday morning, the 16th of October. So happy to see everybody. And here's on WAZU, FM 90.7, also on YouTube. Good to see everybody on YouTube. And a pleasant good morning, Dr. Gene Sidler. Good morning, Gino.
Good morning, everyone.
You're usually the guy that communicates in our chat room with some of the people watching and listening, so I appreciate that. During the week, no one else does that, so you're our communications director.
Always nice for people to comment on us, even if they're not complimentary.
Yeah. And
most of them are.
Yes, they certainly are. And that includes the warm-hearted one and only Mike Dentino. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Roger.
And Terry Growley. Good morning to you, Terry.
Morning, Captain.
You know, what we were talking about, I want to talk about this before we get into the news, weather, and sports, because sometimes the conversations we have off the air, when we go on the air, we forget to pick it up. But yesterday they had the honorary naming of Via Agatushis, and a lot of people were there, and some of us have some wonderful favorite memories. But Mike, I don't know who it was of the three initially brought it up. Agatushis is known for their good food and good hospitality and so forth. They are also known as, what would say, in charge of public safety. What year was the shooting? And it was Dan Agatushi, I think you found out.
Yes.
Didn't you?
Yes.
That's not a crack shot. He's not a crack shot.
Well, that's a danger. So drop the word public safety.
Public hazard.
Yeah. What year was it? And tell our listeners and the viewers
before COVID?
What took.
I think
so.
it was.
Yeah, I think it was.
Funny how
that's our time frame now, before or after COVID.
Well, no, it was quite a number of years ago here, it looks like. I found an article from the Journal Star in 2010 where the owners are recounting the robbery attempt. Now, I don't know if that means that it was much earlier. Okay, no, that's when it was. In 2010.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that was pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID, yeah.
Yeah.
By about 10 years, for that matter. And who was the guy that the Agatushi was? It? Did you say Dan?
Well, according to this,
Dan was the gunslinger.
This November 2010 article, it was Dan Agatucci who disregarded a voice that said "empty the safe." He apparently then. I have to pay to open up the rest of the article, so I can't read it. Apparently, then he pulled a gun out and chased the man out into the street.
Who tried to run?
No, the guy ran first. He didn't pull the gun inside, from what I heard.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Pulled the gun out as he was running outside and fired a shot in the air, at least. And then beyond that, I can't tell you what happened.
Yeah.
Well, I can't tell you. About
you hit a couple cars,
6 blocks away, the bullet came down.
Yeah.
I think he hit a car.
Something.
I think he hit a car.
Oh, you're kidding.
When he was,
Well, see, the easy solution for that is if you accidentally put a bullet hole in a car, you quick run out, buy a bunch of those little bullet hole decals, and stick them all over the car. So it takes them a while to figure out what's really happening.
I remember we had a shooting in Wardcliff where a guy next door was robbing, and he went out and shot the guy, and then there was some controversy. I think it was fatal, but I don't remember the details, but there was conversation around the subdivision how the guy who shot the bad guy made a mistake and not bringing his body over into his backyard.
Well, we have a castle doctrine, but
what are the legal ramifications of shooting a bad guy?
Well, you have to be serious bodily harm.
Yeah, well, the thing
or injury.
is, what they look at the totality of circumstances. There was a situation once in our extended family where someone shot a guy who was breaking into their building, and they fell outside.
I know that story.
Yeah.
Down right off of Main Street.
Yes, that we're talking
In
about the same one.
In a dental office.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I know
Oh,
that
I
story.
do remember that.
And
Yeah. On North Street, you're
North
talking
Street,
about?
yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I remember his last name began with the letter B.
Yes.
Okay.
But what happened was
He was
It
in the basement working, and he
No, he
heard
was-
somebody coming in.
he had problems with someone
Okay.
threatening to burn him down.
Oh, okay.
And so they were taking turns staying in the office
Oh, okay.
to protect the place. And, the cops were aware of it, so they were having a higher level of patrol, from what I understand.
Oh, yeah.
And this guy basically fell outside the window.
He shot him as he's coming in the window, but
Yeah.
he fell on the outside.
Yeah, and it was a complete mess.
He's lucky he didn't go to jail
Well,
for a while.
yeah, I mean it was touch and go because
I like that, touch and go.
yeah, I mean you could get touched and you're going to prison.
Well, is it true now? This is what somebody in law enforcement told me one time, that if you're going to shoot a guy in defense, make
Drag
sure.
him into the house.
Well, you
So, but make sure you shoot him
Kill him.
in the
in
front.
the front, yeah.
If you shoot him in the back,
Yeah.
that
See,
will be the evidence
could
that
you
he
do-
was not
could
a
you
threat
do-
to you.
And bad dead guys don't tell any lies either.
Right.
So it's
Well, but they can do an autopsy and find it the bullet
Well,
wound.
that's true.
The
That's
entry wound is in the back,
Yeah,
and
and see, it's like I said,
that's not good.
They look at the totality of the circumstances, and if it looks like the assailant was running away,
Mm-hmm.
then chances are you're going to have a very serious problem.
Yeah.
Hit them in the front. Hit them while they're facing you, so you can at least say, "Oh yeah, that 14-inch butcher knife. They had it in their hands." Well, there's no fingerprints on it. Oh, believe me, it was in his hand. Yeah,
That almost sounds like a football chair. Hit him in the front. Hit him in the front. Don't hit him in the back. Hit him in the front.
well, it's like that chair. Rickety rackety ree, hit him in the knee. Rickety rackety rass, hit him in the other knee.
What is the story about Dennis? Wasn't there a dentist down in Bartonville that was putting his patients a little bit under and then molesting
Oh,
them?
doing stuff. Yeah.
Oh, there's
Those own little fillies.
there's frequently cases of that in the news. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't-
that's one of the reasons why I would never consider what they call twilight dentistry, where they put you under and work on you. I had one of those cases where the soon to be divorced wife showed up with a shoebox full of Polaroids
Oh no.
at the state's attorney's office up in Chicago.
Oh no.
Oh yes. Oh yes, it was quite scandalous.
Oh my.
Well, we had a little bit of a scandal in Peoria with a dentist. His girlfriend went into the office and late at night and locked the doors and committed suicide. And
Really?
They found her in
town?
I will just I'll leave it. I'll leave it at in town
Oh my.
without getting too specific.
Well, I don't remember.
So I don't know.
Oh, dentists are nuts.
Don't say that.
My daughter's a dentist. I can say
You
that.
can say that. Is she a nurse, a hygienist, or a dentist?
Well, I have my one daughter's a hygienist, my one daughter's a dentist, and her husband's an oral surgeon. So there's a lot of
Geez,
dentistry.
I think we've got like 5 or 6 dentists,
Dentist and
maybe more in our
the
family.
Dentinos, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, with the size of your Catholic family, you cover the spectrum of just about any
yeah.
job.
well,
I mean, 10 in your family, you had 9 other siblings. Break down the gender. How many boys, how many girls?
6 boys and 4 girls.
Okay, so you did have a voting majority.
Yeah, we did. We did. I mean, we had enough for a railroad crew. We can haul rails, lay ties, all that good stuff.
Well, let's, since we're into the news, let's make it official and give you the latest weather and the news. And we'll tell you our news, and we'll start with the weather. Terry has the weather, brought to you by Bob Manning. He is the financial advisor. He's also senior vice president with the folks at Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley for investment needs. Check him out. Bob Manning, he's available today at 309-671-4653. Morgan Stanley, Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC.
Well, Roger, it's going to clear up a little bit today after a little while. High about 77 tonight, cloudy, low 62 tomorrow. Mostly sunny and windy. High, get this, back up in the 80s. Tomorrow night, cloudy and windy. Showers after midnight. Low about 64. Saturday, showers and 75. And right now, at the wazoo, it's 59 degrees.
Now we have the news brought to you by your hometown community banks, division of Morton Community Bank. And they are conveniently located throughout central Illinois, providing a variety of financial services. Look for the clock tower, and you'll know they have time for you. Member FF. What are you doing? Singing with me?
Time for you. I just was getting into it.
Very good, yes. Member FDIC. Sounds like an eye test. All right, our lead story. Mike, what do you have?
Well, Roger, Peoria County Sheriff's Department reports vandals caused an estimated $100,000 in damage Tuesday night to the Last Chance Bar and Grill in Alta. Sadly, one of my favorite places to have breakfast.
They have a great breakfast.
Oh, absolutely. Sheriff Chris Watkins said it was one of the worst cases of vandalism he'd ever seen. Heating and air conditioning units were destroyed, windows were broken, power lines severed, water pipes broken, and the Second Chance beer garden trashed. Even a nearby storage shed was damaged. Sheriff Watkins joins us at 8:15 this morning with the latest.
Did you ever eat at the garden?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lovely place.
It's a nice place.
Breaks my heart, and I just hope they catch the little ignoramuses.
Do you think we'll learn more from the sheriff when he joins us in the studio live? Do you think that there was more than one person involved?
Got their head.
Probably.
That's what I'm thinking.
I would do with this much damage, because that's actually that corner right there where they're at gets a fair amount of traffic all the time. So to do that much damage has got to be done fast, and they had to get in and get out. Otherwise, I haven't been by there to actually see it, but based on the description, it's not something you would drive by and go, was there something there?
I heard every window in the place was broke.
Really, and the police, the sheriff's department was alerted by just what you said. A passerby said, "Hey, that doesn't look right," because they saw the debris outside in the parking lot.
Well, they broke water pipes too. It was a ton of water inside the place.
Right.
And what I think's really weird is it said that they were going to be open today. I saw one article that said they were going to open today. I'm like, wow.
Being open and being able to actually produce food and beverage may be two different things, but bless their little hearts if they are.
There's another controversy at the Peoria Airport. The Homeland Security TV message talking about the government shutdown and how it's impacting the work of its TSA agents is not being showed on airport screens. Apparently, they're too politically motivated, according to Airport Director Gene Olson. However, TV sets owned by the Transportation Secretary Administration are showing the public service announcements at check-in aisles of the airport.
Several years ago, the Peoria Airport refused to fly the POW MIA flag as requested by some local veterans, including Vietnam veteran Gary Hall of Peoria. Hall enlisted the aid of Peoria State Senator Dave Kaler, and the state legislature overwhelmingly passed a bill requiring the flying of the flag at the General Wayne R. Downing Airport and all state airports.
Yes, I was at the airport yesterday. My sister from California flew in, and the flag is flying gently in the breeze right next to the American flag. So glad to see that's been done.
Yeah. Peoria County Coroner Jamie Harwood says the man who was shot in the head in the 2300 block of West Antoinette last Saturday has died at OSF St. Francis Medical Center. Harwood identified the victim as 22-year-old Kamari Davis Rickman. 3 teens, 2 16-year-olds, and the other 17 have been charged with first-degree murder.
This is the city's 10th murder of the year. A detention hearing will be held today for 17-year-old Javion Irby, Davion Webster, and Orlando Hansen, both 16. If found guilty, the three could spend most of their lives in prison.
Bartonville officials report a fire at a two-story home in the 5000 block of Jefferson Street around 10 o'clock yesterday morning. Bartonville firefighters received support from the 182nd Airlift Wing Fire Unit and the Limestone Fire Department. No injuries at the scene. The fire originated in the basement of the structure. No damage report issued.
It was a big day for radio and TV veteran Chuck Collins yesterday. Mayor Rita Ali proclaimed Wednesday as Chuck Collins Day. The former radio DJ turned weatherman on WEEK TV has retired after 50 wonderful years in broadcasting.
Nice guy.
Absolutely.
Nice guy indeed.
In world news, Israel has received the remains of the two more hostages. That news comes after officials said that the body of one of the alleged hostages returned yesterday was not a hostage. The information came from a forensic laboratory in Tel Aviv.
The guy who's expected to be elected as the next mayor of New York City, socialist Zoran Mandami, says it's too early to give President Trump credit for ending the war in Gaza. Apparently, the Ugandan native thinks that gaining the release of all the hostages is not worthy of a compliment or two. The Democrat, appearing on Fox News, also pledged to have Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu arrested if he visits New York City at any time in the future. Mandami says the International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for the Israeli leader, but the United States does not support the IC court.
He's a nutcase.
Well, yeah.
And he's going to be elected to one of the largest cities in the world.
Well,
by
Roger.
a bunch of other nutcases.
Roger,
Yes.
Electorates elect the people they deserve.
Okay, that's quite an indictment on
Yeah,
New
well, you
York.
know, New York is not. It's a wonderful city. Many people love it. Millions of people love it. But unless I've got a daughter living there, which at the moment I don't, I
But
really
you
have.
did, though,
I
didn't
did, yeah, for a decade or more. Without having that sort of connection, I have no interest anymore in going to New York. There's nothing there that I really feel compelled to go look at.
Well, I will tell you, having been there twice, that the Statue of Liberty in and by itself
Yeah.
is justification.
Well, I mean,
to visit.
anything that I think, and you know, my opinion's my own, is not worth a plug nickel.
Well, yes,
But-
it is.
But frankly, anything that New York has to see that I'd be interested in seeing, been there, done that, got
Yeah.
the T-shirt.
Yeah.
So you know,
T-shirt.
don't need to go back.
Yeah.
It's unless the Statue of Liberty changes or poses. I mean, great. I've seen
You see
it.
a
I've read,
picture of it on
I've read
on
the
YouTube.
plaque.
Yeah.
I stood where my grandparents stood when they came
Yeah,
across
amen.
Ellis Island.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
So
I did the same.
Yeah.
it's it's a moving experience and one that I would recommend. But you know,
So a weekend would be okay in New York? Okay.
if I had
I
to,
just said day and a night.
yeah,
But
maybe.
I don't even think they have the shows like they used to, do they? Do they
There
have,
are
do they have
some
a theater?
cultural things worth going to New York
Do they
for.
still have the shows?
Yeah,
Like Broadway shows?
Yeah.
Broadway
Oh,
still
of course, sure,
operates.
yeah.
That's still okay. All right. All
The
right.
Great White Way, although I'm not sure if it's officially able to be called that anymore. That sounds a little bit racist to me now.
Yeah, I've not heard of that one.
You never heard of that?
No, the Great White Way.
Yeah, I mean, from all the lights. all the marquees.
that was a nickname for
That
it.
was what it was
Oh,
called.
I've never
yeah.
heard that before.
Well, you haven't been to New York, have
Yes,
you?
I have.
Well, why didn't
I
you
was
hear
in
about
Times
it?
Square. I didn't like it. It was crowded. You can't see the sky. There's the buildings, and I just felt very claustrophobic.
Yeah.
I just.
No wonder you like that.
And I didn't do the
down
tunnel.
Peoria.
I didn't do the tunnel.
Okay.
Have you been through that tunnel?
I've been through all the tunnels.
What, the Holland
Lincoln
Tunnel? Yeah. I remember.
No, that's in Holland. I'm talking about New York.
No, the Holland Tunnel. Yeah. You know what? We need more news. Your best source for news in the morning right here, along with WCBU's.
From the WCBU newsroom, I'm June Delahunty. The city of Peoria is taking action to block public nuisance gatherings and give police authority to order crowds to disperse. The city council unanimously approved the measure this week. City Attorney Patrick Hayes says it allows officers to break up gatherings of 10 or more people with at least 2 instances of specified illegal activities.
We're trying to put a tool in law enforcement's hands that deal with the circumstances that they see on the streets and that give them an opportunity to warn our citizens that they need to disperse before they take action.
Councilmember Mike Vespa raised concerns over potential First Amendment challenges, but Hayes says the ordinance will not be used against civil protests. The city of Pekin is taking action to prevent contractors with delinquent property tax balances from working for the city. A new potential ordinance will require that any company bidding and doing work for Pekin will be in good standing. City Attorney Jim Vaselli says that includes more than just not paying property taxes.
When we enter into real estate contracts, for example, or other transactions where we are more directly involved, we'll go to the business services website and ensure that they are in good standing.
The move comes after the discovery that a business contract by Pekin had delinquent property tax issues. The Peoria County Sheriff's Office is investigating a case of vandalism that caused an estimated $100,000 in damage to a Peoria tavern. Sheriff Chris Watkins says deputies were called to the Last Chance Bar on West 2nd Street at around 3:30 Wednesday morning. The building had been damaged with items scattered around the property. Deputies discovered extensive damage both inside and outside of the building. A well-known family-operated Peoria bar and pizzeria is celebrating 100 years in business. Fans of Agatucci's restaurant gathered today to kick off the festivities. Mayor Rita Ali noted that the business holds the oldest continuous liquor license in Peoria.
Agatucci's has been more than a restaurant. It's been a gathering place, a tradition, and a living piece of our city's history.
The gathering featured a new commemorative logo and an honorary street sign at the intersection of University Street and Gift Avenue. I'm June Delahunty.
All right, let's get into the world of sports. Dr. Gene Sidler is here, and a pleasant good morning. Brought to you by BradleyFans.com, and we might tell you more activity as we get closer to the opening of officially the basketball season.
Things are warming up. Bradley fans are getting excited for this season. The preseason poll in the Missouri Valley has them picked 4th, but there are some other basketball websites and preseason publications that have Bradley picked a little higher, and some of them as high as tops number 1.
BradleyFans.com says. BradleyFans.com has them picked at.
We don't do an official poll. We let everybody have their own opinion.
Okay.
But I think the general consensus is that this team maybe is a young team, very young team. We have 9 new players that weren't on the team last year. They probably are going to take a little while to kind of come together and gel, and maybe by the end of the year could contend, but more likely this team's not quite as good as last year, and probably isn't going to be a first-place team or second-place team. We'll see. I mean, it could change.
Yeah.
That's a great way to dance around that number.
Here's
It was good. I want to know.
I thought that
where
was
this,
great.
I want to know where this general consensus is at. What
Yeah,
army
I know,
base
I know.
is he located at?
the general consensus is on the BradleyFans.com. You have to sign up and
Okay.
see it.
that was good. We didn't do that in rehearsal.
But, you know, with the transfer portal and the NIL and all that stuff, every kid now gets up and moves every year.
Yeah, I
Now,
know.
Bradley's been fortunate, and last year we had a bunch of kids that had stayed with Bradley for 3, 4, 5 years even, because of that COVID year. You had an extra year, and that's why I think they were very good. Won 28 games last year.
They
Very,
sure
very
were. They had
successful
a good
season.
year. Not so good this year.
But well, again, a lot of unknowns. We're going to have at least 4 new starters in the lineup.
4 out of 5
Yeah,
new starters.
four of the starters from last year: Darius Hanna and Duke Dean. Can't think who the others were off the top of my head, but
They're gone.
oh, Christian Davis. They're all gone, and they're all playing over in Europe right now professionally. So it's going to be a new experience, but I think again the talent is there, and they could be very good. We'll just have to wait
You know,
and see.
being on YouTube, those kids could hear and see our program.
Yeah.
Do you stay in touch with any of them?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, there went that
No, I mean,
idea.
I follow them. There are websites
Well, that's good, yeah.
that tell you how their performance is doing with each of the teams that they're with, and
Where
yeah.
do you have them picked, Raj? You're a sports guy.
Third or fourth. I check Bradley fans every now and then, and
And that's what the
they
consensus
they
was.
know more. Those people are on your website or whatever you call it. They know basketball and they know Bradley.
I think Bradley fans, as a whole, the
Yeah.
fans themselves are very aware of basketball and skill and follow the team closely, and yeah, they're very sophisticated fans. Anyway, sports from yesterday was Game 3 of the American League Championship Series last night. The Toronto Blue Jays bounced back from being trounced twice in the first two games, and they beat the Seattle Mariners 13-4 last night.
Wow, boy, did they
Yeah.
break out.
Now, Seattle still leads that best-of-7 series, 2-1. Tonight, the two games that are on TV and are being played tonight, Game 3 of the National League Championship Series with Milwaukee Brewers at the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, Milwaukee's down 2-0. Dodgers beat them twice in Milwaukee. That game will be on TBS at 5:08 p.m. The Brewers, who had one of the best offenses in the National League in the regular season, have managed only 2 runs and 5 hits. Just
Yeah,
5 hits in
but
the
you-
combined 2 games.
But remember the adage is good pitching beats good hitting.
Well, that's what it looks like. It could also just be a massive team slump at the same time. Everybody's in a slump. But no, the Dodgers do have good pitching, and that has carried them through the first 2 games. Then there's another game at 7:30 on FS1, and that is the Toronto Blue Jays and Seattle Mariners again. They play Game 4 at 7:30 tonight in the ALCS. Mariners, of course, lead that series 2-1. Also tonight, the Thursday night NFL game, a 4-1 Pittsburgh Steelers with a rejuvenated 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers at quarterback versus the 2-4 Cincinnati Bengals with their newly acquired 40-year-old Joe Flacco. So got 2 40-plus-year-old quarterbacks playing against each other tonight. Pittsburgh's a 4.5-point favorite in that game. That should be an interesting game in the AFC North Division.
You know, that's brought to you by AARP.
The ARP game. The Chicago Bears, they're 3-2 now, a 3-game winning streak after their win Monday night over the Washington Commanders. They play a Sunday noon game this weekend. It's at home against the 1-5 New Orleans Saints. Not used to seeing the Saints struggle
Well,
quite
you're
this
right.
much. That game will be on Fox. They've got a young quarterback named Spencer Rattler, who nobody's heard of, but he's struggled a little bit so far. He was a 4th-round draft pick in this past summer's NFL draft from South Carolina.
It sounds like he's somewhat of a snake. Do you remember the quarterback who was nicknamed the Snake?
Kenny Stabler.
Yeah, very good.
Oh.
You can't stump this guy.
No, and
I've tried.
why was that? What was that? That was from the shower
I would have to
room,
look
or
that
what?
up. He was,
No, I don't.
he
Yeah,
was
he
a
was
tall and
slippery.
thin
He was
guy, but I
slippery.
don't know if that was why they called him the Snake.
Yeah.
Was he the guy who also kicked field goals? Who was,
No,
who was the
that was-
quickest?
George Blanda.
George
is who-
George
Blanda.
Blanda.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Kenny Stabler's with the
He was with the Saints.
Raiders. No, the
The
Oakland
Raiders,
Raiders,
right?
okay.
Right.
And
What-
I'm over
He was
too.
like a Madden product, wasn't he?
yeah,
Jo-
yeah.
But
John Madden.
John
Madden
Madden
was
his coach. He was
Yeah.
a left-handed.
Nobody
quarterback.
did color better than John Madden.
He was fun to
But-
listen to.
Yeah, he
Well, it
was.
wasn't always the most informative
or informative,
stuff,
yeah.
yes.
No.
but it was fun to listen
Yeah,
to.
and you're right. And the highlight of the football season was they would show the big turkey
The,
that
no,
they
no, the
had.
turducken.
The
That-
turducken.
The turducken.
Is that what it was?
John Madden invented, as far as I know, or maybe he didn't invent it.
It
but
was
he
a
was the one who-
combination of turkey and duck.
turkey and
He
duck.
promoted
Yeah,
it, at least that much.
yeah.
And he never flew. He apparently was
That's what I-
frightened of flying. He drove his RV.
He had a bus. Yeah, and one time we went up to a game at Soldier Field. The Raiders played the Bears, and you saw his bus parked outside the stadium.
Well, we in the RV business call it an RV.
Bus, so he could watch games while he was traveling.
Yeah.
Everybody else is flying and is there a day ahead of time or 2 days ahead of time. He's
And I never knew for the longest time he was a white guy.
John Madden was a white guy.
Well,
Well, that's because you're not a sports
Well, they always
fan.
referred to him as a colored guy, and
Not colored, color.
well, that's different.
Yeah. Yeah. In other sports news,
I don't know. I don't know how we get
Oh,
on
yeah,
these
we're going to get shut
Jason,
down for
these
sure now.
tangents here.
I've found ignoring him helps.
Just trying to learn. We're sure we need to wire a switch into that microphone.
I've got it here, and
Yeah.
that's it for him. He's off.
Just kidding, Terry. We love you.
We sure do.
Anyway, college football. Illinois dropped out of the top 25. Roger.
Really?
Yeah, they're actually.
I thought they played pretty good against the number one team in the nation.
They did, but you lose, you're going to drop some, and they dropped down to what would be 26th. Of course, the poll only counts the top 25, but they have the highest number of votes by far of any team that's not in the top 25. So essentially, you could consider them at number 26, and they'll come back. They are 5-2, 2-2 in the Big Ten. They're off this week. They play next Saturday, October 25th, Saturday, out west at Washington, University of Washington, the Huskies. Huskies are 5-1. They're having a pretty good season. They're 2-1 in the Big Ten, but they play Michigan on Saturday of this weekend, and so they will probably be 2-2 when the Illini fly out there. We'll see. Notre Dame, they moved up to number 13 in this week's ranking because they won their fourth game in a row last weekend over North Carolina State. They're 4-2. They'll play USC this Saturday in a non-conference
That's
game.
an annual game. That's always a good game.
Yeah, they do. They play every year. USC's pretty good. They're 5-1 this year so far. That game at 6:30 p.m. on NBC.
Didn't Illinois beat USC?
Yes.
They lost to somebody in the Big Ten.
It was Illinois.
Was it Illinois?
Yeah.
And Notre Dame is a 9.5-point favorite in that game. NHL last night, Chicago Blackhawks beat the St. Louis Blues 8-3.
Are you kidding me?
Counted them, yeah. Ran out
That's
to a
their
big
second win.
lead. That is second win. Both teams now 2-2. Blackhawks also have a tie. And the Blackhawks have actually played very well. Their two losses and their tie were games they probably should have won. One of them a score with 15 seconds left in regulation. The other one was an overtime loss. So they're a better team this year, and they've got a lot of young
Well, they
players.
couldn't be worse.
Yeah,
They were
they've
last
been
year.
bad the last couple of years in the rebuilding phase.
Somebody didn't keep their stick on the ice because eight is unheard of, and I know enough about sports.
It's
Yeah.
that's
Eight
a lot
is
of
a
goals.
ton
Yeah,
in hockey.
yeah, they were they were
was
getting
very
through
good,
every
Terry.
Yeah, well,
every
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Hole
Well,
in,
you know, I just
in
there's
the
some, I
defense.
know a
take
little
back
bit.
some of the things I've
I
said
know a
behind
little
your
bit
back.
about sports, not much.
Anyway, that was it for sports yesterday, Roger.
Well, none too soon. And you did a good job despite all the interruptions. So let's.
I didn't. It just.
All right, we're ready for a recap of the news with Mike Dentino, brought to you by Certified Public Accountant, and that happens to be Matt Wall. Matt is with Gordon Stockman Wall, offering a wide range of services designed to address the ever-changing, and it is ever-changing, accounting and tax laws and needs for individuals and businesses. You can reach Matt Wall, CPA, at 309-692-4030. Michael?
Roger, the Peoria County Sheriff's Department reports vandals caused an estimated $100,000 in damage Tuesday night at the Last Chance Bar and Grill in Alta, just north of Peoria. Sheriff Chris Watkins said it was one of the worst cases of vandalism he'd ever seen. Heating and air conditioning units were destroyed, windows broken, power lines severed, water pipes broken, and the Second Chance Beer Garden trashed. Even a nearby storage shed was damaged. Sheriff Watkins will join us at 8:15 this morning and talk about it a little bit more.
It sounds like they need class in anger management. 'Cause
Yes,
they did a number,
someone
didn't
needs
they?
to get their emotions under control here. Another controversy at the Peoria airport, the Homeland Security TV messages talking about the government shutdown and how it's impacting the work of the TSA agents is not being shown on airport TV screens. They're too political, according to the airport's director, Gene Olson. However, TV sets owned by the TSA are showing the public service announcements at check-in areas about the airport. Several years ago, the Peoria airport refused to flag the POW MIA flag as requested by some local veterans, including Vietnam veteran Gary Hall of Peoria. Hall enlisted the aid of Peoria State Senator Dave Kaler, and the state legislature overwhelmingly passed a bill requiring the flying of the flag at General Wayne Downing Airport and all state airports. Peoria County Coroner Jamie Harwood says the man who was shot in the head in the 2200 block of West Antoinette last Saturday has died at OSF St. Francis Medical Center. Harwood identified the victim as 22-year-old Kamari Davis Rickman. 3 teens, 2 16-year-olds and the other 17, have been charged with first-degree murder. This is the city's 10th murder of the year. A detention hearing will be held today for 17-year-old Javion Irby, Davion Webster, and Orlando Hansen, both 16. If found guilty, the trio could spend most of the rest of their lives in prison. Bartonville officials report a fire at a 2-story home in the 5000 block of Jefferson Street around 10 o'clock yesterday morning. Bartonville firefighters received support from the 182nd Airlift Wing Fire Unit and the Limestone Fire Department. No injuries at the scene. The fire originated in the basement of the structure. No damage report has been issued. It was a big day for radio and TV veteran Chuck Collins on yesterday's Peoria Mayor Rita Ali proclaimed Wednesday as Chuck Collins Day. The former radio DJ turned weatherman on WEEK TV has retired after 50 years in broadcasting. And in world news, Israel has received the remains of 2 more hostages. The news came after officials said that the body of one of the alleged hostages returned yesterday was not a hostage. The information came from a forensic laboratory in Tel Aviv. And Roger, that's it for news at the bottom of the hour.
Well, I think we're ready for a check of the weather brought to you by Mr. Weather, Kyle Varnold. Kyle, on the other hand, happens to be a professional in the area of insurance, and he's eager to serve you with free reviews of your insurance plans, if you would like, checking out the costs for auto, homeowners, health, and life coverages, and he does that to make sure you're receiving the right insurance at the right cost. There's no obligation for this free review, and you can reach Kyle today, 309-682-0519, 682-0519.
Going to clear up today, Roger, and the high is going to be about 77 tonight. Cloudy, low 62. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, windy, back up to about 80 degrees. Tomorrow night, cloudy, windy, showers after midnight, low 64. Some showers on Saturday also, high about 75. Right now, it's 59 at the Wazoo.
And there you have it. News and weather at the bottom of the hour. And a special thought and prayer for one of our regular listeners, Joyce, who is going into the hospital this morning for a procedure. So we know our thoughts. Yes, exactly. You know, I'm sure all of us have a happy thought or memory. I think, have we all eaten at Agatushi's?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 I remember meeting for the first time the young lady who was the daughter of Roger Lane, a baseball coach and teacher. What?
Tammy Lane?
Yes, Tammy Lane. And she had, they were having a little gathering for her. She had come back to Peoria after being nominated for an Academy Award.
She won?
And yes,
Really?
nominated
For
and
what?
won.
She does
for
makeup
best
and-
makeup
Oh,
in
really?
the
Wow.
Chronicles of Narnia, I think. Was that the
Sounds-
movie?
that
Yeah.
sounds right. It was one of those.
Yeah.
CS,
Delightful young lady, and
C.S. Lewis.
CS Lewis. Movie
And we-
adaptations, yes.
at any rate, had
All
a
right.
good interview. Yes. Now I am. Yeah. Do you have any special memories of eating at Agatushi's?
Oh, I mean, Agatushi's has been an institution. You know, I remember spending many a Friday evening there having thin crust pizza with my dad.
Ooh,
In fact,
ooh,
you know,
ooh.
there was a connection between Dentino's and Agatushi's from very early on. I can't give you the year, but my great grandfather had just been pulled from the mines in Toluca, and they had to find a new way to support the family, so they moved to Peoria with a bunch of borrowed money, and they were going to open a business in Peoria. Well, my great grandfather didn't speak a lick of English. And he'd been given instructions to meet with this Italian family in Peoria that would help get him settled and show him around. And they got off the bus from Toluca, got to Peoria, and his instructions were to go to Lee School, and the family would find him there. Well, my grandfather, he understood La Scala, which in Italian means the school.
Oh.
So they got on the trolley and tried to express to the trolley driver to take him to a school. Well, the trolley driver dropped him off in front of a school, and there was no one to be found. They had no idea
What
what
school
was
is
going
it?
on. They had no idea what school he was
school?
driving. He was just dropped off at a school. So my great grandfather, being the resourceful Italian that he was, he started walking around the alleys of wherever part of Peoria he was in till he smelled someone cooking with garlic, and went up to the back door and pounded on it. And you know, as would be normal, we're talking about like the turn of the century, 1905, 1907, somewhere. I mean, like I said, I don't know the year. I know it was very early because it was my grandfather and his younger brother were like 8 and 10 at the time.
Oh, my.
Well, the Italian family knew the Italian family they were going to, and they hooked them up. Turns out the family they were getting hooked up with to help them settle were Agatushi's.
Is that right? What
Yeah.
a story. That is a great story.
Yeah.
Wow. Very heartwarming.
So what
Yeah.
business did he do? What did
Well,
he...
my great grandfather, first they started selling coal, and that went under. Then they started selling like dry goods, that went under.
He was a terrible salesman or what?
Well, I didn't know how to run a business.
Yeah, that might have something to do with
The
it.
guy couldn't sell a thing.
They went through a couple of iterations until they finally settled on selling groceries.
Oh, well.
And down on the south side, at that time, what was First and Spencer, right across from St. Joseph's Church.
Yeah.
It's
And
just fascinating. You know, you talk about the mines in Toluca. When you, the first time I went there, I saw these big hills
Yep.
in the Toluca area, and I wondered, where are they getting that? Because today, when you see a big hill, what is it?
it's a
It's a landfill.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was a coal mine.
Well, the Toluca Mountains. Yeah,
It was not snow-capped Toluca Mountains.
the tailing piles, that's all the debris that comes out of the mine, that with the coal, all the rocks and everything else. But I've been out to Toluca for, I'm trying to think, sometime around Labor Day. They have a celebration that usually includes a guy that's there, and his name escapes me right now, who has a very extensive knowledge of the mines and the mining operations. And
Is it a Capone?
no, it's not a Capone.
Okay.
I had a couple years ago, I went out there and listened to his presentation and had a nice long conversation with him. And I have, what they would do is you would fill individual carts with coal. And they would take the coal and run it up, and they'd weigh it. Well, they would sift through it, and because they only wanted pieces of coal that were over a certain size. So the small stuff, they dump it out on this grading, and what didn't fall through got weighed, and you got paid for that. You didn't get paid for all the stuff that fell
Really?
through all the, the sifting bits.
The filtering system, or
But
whatever you want to call
To
it.
identify whose cart was whose, you had these little copper tags. They're about the size of a $50 with a number on them, and I've got like 3 of them.
Oh,
From
fascinating.
my great-grandfather. He would use that to put on the cart to tell people, that's mine. That's what I put in there.
That's an interesting story. It also is fascinating about Toluca. They have 2 main restaurants, Mona's and Capone's, and they're in essence competitors, and yet they kind of trade off on what days and nights are open,
Right.
except on the weekends. Am I right? Do I remember that? They still do that?
Like one is closed on Monday and the other's open, and they switch. One's open one day, and the other one's open, and they swap off.
But
on the weekends, they're both open.
both open,
Now they're
yeah.
owned by the same family.
Yeah, there's a nice website.
The Rich History of Toluca.
Illinois.com, and it's got stories about how the city got its start.
Coal
how
mines,
Coal
1892.
mines were a big part of the city, and now the city is known more for the restaurants.
Yeah.
It goes into that.
And it is, and they both are excellent. I don't know how you can tell the difference. Interesting story, tidbit about the Capone family. When I was stationed outside of Frankfurt in Höchst, Germany, with the U.S. Army, I got a message that, hey, there's a guy from Illinois that just arrived. And I said, do you know where he's from? He said, no, but he's from Illinois. And we know you're from Illinois. I was the only guy from Illinois in the outfit. So I went down said he works for Sergeant Harmon in supplies. So I went downstairs and said, who's the, and then I saw the new guy. And you'll never guess what his name is.
Capone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Silvio Capone was his
Silvio,
name.
wow.
And we became the best of friends. He's a pretty good ball player, and we did have a fast pitch team that we played on, and he was one of the infielders. And he was one of the nicest guys you ever met. And so he rotated in about, I'd say 9 to 10 months, something like that, before I rotated out. And I said to him, and we actually went on vacation together up to Hamburg, Germany, when I wanted to go up and see if I could find some relatives of my mother. And I came that close, and I was today even upset that I didn't pursue it further. But at any rate, when I was leaving, I said, do you care if I stop to see your parents? He said, oh, please do. So I got back, got settled, and got in my car and drove, and he sent a letter to, we didn't have cell phones back then.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I didn't think we had phones, but that's how long ago. But at any rate, I looked him up, and you could not meet 2 nicer Italian, other than the Dentinos, a family. And he said, would you like to have a drink? And I said, yeah, do you have any iced tea? And he said, no, we'll make this a little stronger than and he got me a jigger of schnapps. Now, I'm not a drinker, but I knew what schnapps was, because I had some schnapps when I was a guest at a Sunday afternoon dinner at a German family in Frankfurt. And I started sipping, and he said, no, you drink
shoot
it
it
all
down
at
the
once.
hatch.
You gotta shoot it.
You call it shoot it?
You
Is
gotta
that
shoot it, yeah.
Well, I shot myself with it. That thing burned all the way down to, it took 2 years for me to get my toenails back. I mean, that burned all the way, and you can sympathize and empathize with me, because you're not a drinker either, are you, Jim?
I'm not, no.
Yeah. And I said, well, boy, and I was sweating, and it was not a good experience. And you know what? I said, well, after we had some more talk, I was there about an hour. I said, well, I got to leave now. And he said, well, you can't leave without another.
Oh, God.
And I said, if I take another one, and his name I think was Silvio as well. I said, Silvio, if I take another one, I won't know where Peoria is. And I said, I'm going to pass on that. And it almost felt like I offended him but I wanted
Yeah.
to
Now,
survive.
was this the Capone who opened up the restaurant?
No, they were related
Oh, okay.
to the family. Neat, wonderful family.
Just a little more context on Toluca here. I was just reading this this webpage. It reached its peak right around the turn of the century, right around 1900. The population reached 6,000 people.
Wow.
Now it's only about 1,500.
Right.
But 800 workers in the mines. They produced 1,000 tons of coal a day, 380,000 tons a year. There were 25 saloons in town.
Yeah.
25.
We
That
gotta
sounds like
watch out
Acreville.
that coal dust.
It quotes William Gooley, the police chief, back at the turn of the century, saying he had his hands full providing law and order.
I bet.
You can imagine with 800 coal workers
Yeah.
spending their
And
money in the
drunken.
25 saloons.
Trying to wash down that dust.
Yeah. Oh,
So it sounds like an old Wild West town, yeah.
It sure does, and it's highly agriculture as well.
Now it is.
Some of the
For sure.
They say some of the richest soil in the state of Illinois, in the area of Varna and Toluca.
true enough.
So
True enough.
I do remember stopping there. We got together, Pete Van Aken, and I'm trying to think who else was on, Ron Harris and Ed Dwyer and Ken, the big Bradley. Ken Golden, thank you. On an RV, we used to go up once a year and have a Bradley fan luncheon at Harry Carey's in not downtown. It started in downtown Chicago,
Yeah, like
and
out-
moved out to
Like Schaumburg or
Schaum-
Lombard,
yeah,
something like
I
that.
think it was because it was in a hotel. The bar was. Well, at any rate, on the way back, everybody agreed that we were going to stop in Toluca at either Mona's or Capone's, and which we did, and the food was just outstanding. But that was the last time, and we're going back a few years, that I ate there.
Oh yeah, I've been there, to both of them within the last year.
Oh, really?
And
yeah.
still love the
Because
food.
you go back and forth to Chicago every now and then, do you?
Yeah.
Not?
Oh yeah. I mean,
It's a little out of the way.
if you
but
go
it's
down
worth it.
if you go down 17, it's not that far out of the way.
Out of the way.
Yeah.
116 up, maybe 89 and over on 17, or.
Well, I just
We're
go
up
straight
39.
from my house. I go straight down 17, then turn down 117.
Well,
and
you're
there.
right on
Yeah.
on 17. Yeah.
117, not 116.
Not one. No, 117.
117,
Yeah. Yeah. It's. I mean, if I were to go a little further, I mean, right after Toluca is Eureka, or not Eureka, Goodfield. No, it is. No, it is Eureka. Yeah.
Yeah, it is Eureka. Yeah,
It is Eureka.
You bet. All right, we'll be right back. We're going to pause for our pet tip of the day.
Today's Pet Tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. Cat owners will tell you that their cats are every bit as communicative as dogs, yet cats are known for being aloof, but those who study cats and their behavior will tell you that cats begin to make sound as soon as they are biologically able. Cats learn quickly which sound to use to get their humans to respond appropriately. When, why, and how cats talk depends on the cat and his personality, the situation, and who he is talking to. Each cat will learn what their humans respond to, and that the same sound means something different to different people. Now, I think that's pretty smart. Some cats talk to you when you come home. They talk when you are feeding them. They talk to their toys. And then there are other cats that would only vocalize under extreme conditions, like when you step on their tail. As to who is teaching who, it's debatable, and cat owners don't care. They like and accept the interaction when it's offered and feel more appreciated when spoken to. Other owners are just happy to have their pets that are there but not needing a lot of attention. If you are thinking of adopting a cat, be sure to spend some time with it beforehand so that you get the right one to fit your lifestyle. Many rescue groups, humane societies, and animal organizations have rooms specifically designed for this kind of one-on-one interaction. These groups are not selling a pet, but rather placing one in a proper, loving, well-matched forever home. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's Pet Tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
6:55 is our time, and what's the weather going to be today?
It's going to clear up, 77 today, low 62 tonight. Tomorrow, nice, high 80. Right now, it's just about 59.
We were talking a little bit with one ear listening to the pet tip of the day about some of the eating places outside of Peoria that were once very popular.
Very
And
popular,
one of the places that I brought up, and we had a hard time, but through group thinking, we managed to remember the name of it, and that was the Elms in El Paso.
Yep.
And the food was outstanding. You mentioned Smiley's.
Smiley's
Terry.
in Rose, Illinois. Best ribs I've ever had.
It is now a
Is it
pub
open?
called Gators.
Oh, it is open
Yeah,
now?
it is open.
Okay.
But that's where Smiley's used to be, right there.
Oh, it was great.
In La
Great
Rose.
ribs.
For ribs.
A place my
Yeah.
family used to go called Gike's, and I don't know
How are you spelling that?
I don't have any idea.
Yeah, I tried finding a reference to it
It was
on
an
the
old,
internet.
it was an old
Can't.
big white farmhouse and family-style dinner. They used to have great corn fritters, and they'd bring you a big, platter of mashed
You
potatoes.
weren't eating at some farmhouse, were you,
No,
along the way?
no. Grandpa used to take the family there for.
And you don't know what town it
I
was in?
don't. I know it was a long way away, but you know what? It could have been Dunlap. That
Well,
would have been a long way
yeah,
away.
it kind of brings back memories. Years ago, my dad had a propensity for giving the gifts at Easter.
Mm-hmm. At
And
Easter,
for
At
three
Easter,
years.
really?
Well, for 3 years running, 1 year he bought everybody their own baby chick.
Well, your kid,
No.
10 kids?
Well, I mean, there were only 8 of us at that point, or actually 7 of us at that point.
She brought seven chicks home?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And you'd think he'd learn after he did that. Of those, one survived.
Yeah, how long did they make? A week?
Oh,
I mean-
they lasted about a month and a half. Then it got big enough to where it was pecking people and it hurt. And we took it out to my dad's friend's house, Mr. Campbell. And Mr. Campbell lived, halfway to Chicago.
Yeah.
It took forever to get there. So we took the chicken out there. But did he learn? No, because the next Easter, he
You got
came
a
home with-
rabbit.
No. 7 baby ducklings.
Oh,
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
Oh, my
And
God.
the ducklings lasted, 2 of them survived.
Oh.
And they got big enough to where they got it, if they got outside, they'd chase the mailman around. They threatened to stop delivering mail. So the ducks went out to Mr. Campbell's house.
What did
Three
you
buffalo
have?
livestock,
A
huh?
zoo?
Well, I mean, he lived, I trying to figure out where the hell he lived. And I remember I really admired Mr. Campbell because he knew everything on how to fix things.
Oh, he's a fix-it guy.
He actually worked at Caterpillar, and he was running the physical plant at the administration building.
All right.
Well, years later I figure out, because he had this big house out in the country, and so, my yard is right next to the railroad tracks, and, we have a deal with TP&W where I get free coal all the time because it just drops out of the bottom of the train and I go collect it. Well, I find out years later, he lives right on Cedar Hills Drive.
Oh, yeah.
right where the railroad tracks cross going to
You
Dunlap.
thought that was forever ago.
Oh my God, I thought we were going to Chicago when we go out to his house.
It was just a 2-lane road back then,
Well, back
right?
then it was
Yeah.
gravel. I mean,
Yeah.
you'd turn off, the road going, Knoxville going north. You take a drive up Cedar Hills, and it's like, wow, are we almost there yet? We've been in the car for hours.
All right, we're listening to Mr. Farmer, and we're going to continue this dialogue after the news, weather, and sports on Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU FM 90.7 in wonderful Peoria, Illinois, and on YouTube as well. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful Thursday morning, the 16th of October, and we begin with a check of the weather brought to you this morning by Spoon River Home Health, bridging the gap in healthcare. Since 1993, Spoon River has been caring for people of all ages in their homes where recovery and healing faster and more comfortable. Learn more from the good people at Spoon River, 309-245-0723.
It'll be clear later on today, high 77. Tonight, cloudy, low 62. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and windy, but it's going to be 80 degrees. Tomorrow night, cloudy and windy. Maybe some showers after midnight, low 64. Saturday, showers 75. And right now, it's about 59.
And now the news. Thank you. Appreciate it as always, Terry. Brought to you by Steve Sink. He's the managing partner of PHX Affiliates. This guy's been a business broker for over 20 years. He knows business. If you're interested in buying a business, maybe get rid of a business, the guy to talk to, the go-to guy, Steve Sink. And you can reach him today at 309-696-8508. Now with our lead story, here's Mike.
Thanks, Roger. Peoria County Sheriff's Department reports vandals caused an estimated $100,000 in damage Tuesday night at the Last Chance Bar and Grill in Alta, north of Peoria. Sheriff Chris Watkins said it was one of the worst cases of vandalism he had ever seen. Heating and air conditioning units were destroyed, windows broken, power lines severed, water pipes broken, and the Second Chance Beer Garden trashed. The nearby storage shed was also damaged. Sheriff Watkins will join us at 8:15 this morning with the latest.
Another controversy at the Peoria Airport, the Homeland Security TV messages talking about the government shutdown and how it's impacting the work of TSA agents is not being shown on airport TV screens. Apparently, they're too political, according to Airport Director Gene Olson. However, TV sets owned by the Transportation Secretary Administration are showing the public service announcements at the check-in areas of the airport.
Several years ago, Peoria Airport refused to fly the POW MIA flag as requested by some local veterans, including Vietnam veteran Gary Hall of Peoria. Hall enlisted the aid of Peoria State Senator Dave Kaler, and the state legislature overwhelmingly passed a bill requiring the flying of the flag at the General Wayne R. Downing Airport and at all state airports.
Peoria County Coroner Jamie Harwood says the man who was shot in the head in the 2300 block of West Antoinette last Saturday has died at OSF St. Francis Medical Center. Harwood identified the victim as 22-year-old Kamara Davis Rickman. 3 teens, 2 16-year-olds, and the other 17 have been charged with first-degree murder.
This is the city's 10th murder of the year. A detention hearing will be held today for 17-year-old Javion Irby, Davion Webster, and Orlando Hansen, both 16. If found guilty, the 3 could spend most of the rest of their lives in prison.
Bartonville officials report a fire at a 2-story home in the 5000 block of Jefferson Street around 10 o'clock yesterday morning. Bartonville firefighters received support from the 182nd Air Wing Lift and the Limestone Fire Department. No injuries at the scene. The fire originated in the basement of the structure. No damage reports.
It was a big day for radio and TV veteran Chuck Collins yesterday. Peoria Mayor Rita Ali proclaimed Wednesday as Chuck Collins Day. The former radio DJ turned weatherman on WEEK TV has retired after 50 wonderful years in broadcasting.
Wow, he hardly looks that old. In world news, Israel has received the remains of 2 more hostages. That news comes after officials said that the body of one of the alleged hostages returned yesterday was not a hostage. So who do they think it was? Or I don't get this.
It was just some remains, and
Yeah.
it's probably a Palestinian.
Oh, jeez.
Well,
Would they lost the other one or something?
Yeah.
Why would they do something like that?
Yeah, there's probably a lot of dead bodies laying around Gaza these
So they
days.
just grab them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't know.
I'm not going to touch this story with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's kind of gross,
It's very weird.
gruesome.
All right, I'm done with that story.
anyway, the guy who's expected to be elected the next mayor of New York City, socialist Zoran Mandami, says it's too early to give President Trump credit for ending the war in Gaza. Apparently, the Ugandan native doesn't think that gaining the release of all the hostages is worthy of a compliment or two. The Democrat, appearing on Fox News, also pledged to have Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu arrested if he visits New York City in the future. Mandani says that the International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for the Israeli leader, but the United States doesn't support the IC court.
Wow. And Roger brings you up to date, kind of.
At least from our standpoint, your best source for more news continues with WCBU.
From the WCBU newsroom, I'm June Delahunty. The city of Peoria is taking action to block public nuisance gatherings and give police authority to order crowds to disperse. The city council unanimously approved the measure this week. City Attorney Patrick Hayes says it allows officers to break up gatherings of 10 or more people with at least 2 instances of specified illegal activities.
We're trying to put a tool in law enforcement's hands that deal with the circumstances that they see on the streets and that give them an opportunity to warn our citizens that they need to disperse before they take action.
Councilmember Mike Vespa raised concerns over potential First Amendment challenges, but Hayes says the ordinance will not be used against civil protests. The city of Pekin is taking action to prevent contractors with delinquent property tax balances from working for the city. A new potential ordinance will require that any company bidding and doing work for Pekin will be in good standing. City Attorney Jim Vaselli says that includes more than just not paying property taxes.
When we enter into real estate contracts, for example, or other transactions where we are more directly involved, we'll go to the business services website and ensure that they are in good standing.
The move comes after the discovery that a business contract by Pekin had delinquent property tax issues. The Peoria County Sheriff's Office is investigating a case of vandalism that caused an estimated $100,000 in damage to a Peoria tavern. Sheriff Chris Watkins says deputies were called to the Last Chance Bar on West 2nd Street at around 3:30 Wednesday morning. The building had been damaged with items scattered around the property. Deputies discovered extensive damage both inside and outside of the building. A well-known family-operated Peoria bar and pizzeria is celebrating 100 years in business. Fans of Agatucci's restaurant gathered today to kick off the festivities. Mayor Rita Ali noted that the business holds the oldest continuous liquor license in Peoria.
Agatucci's has been more than a restaurant. It's been a gathering place, a tradition, and a living piece of our city's history.
The gathering featured a new commemorative logo and an honorary street sign at the intersection of University Street and Gift Avenue. I'm June Delahunty.
All right, let's get into the world of sports. Coming out of the dugout, carrying a placard that says BradleyFans.com. Here's Dr. Sidler.
Thank you, Roger. Sports from yesterday, the American League Championship Series, Game 3. The Seattle Mariners looked awfully good, winning the first 2 games in Toronto, but the tables were turned in last night's game in Seattle. The Toronto Blue Jays jumped out to an early lead and dominated the game, winning 13-4. 4. Seattle still leads the series, best of 7 series, 2-1. And tonight there are 2 games. We'll start first with Game 3 of the National League Series. That one, the Milwaukee Brewers out west at the Los Angeles Dodgers. That's a 5:08 p.m. game, our time, on the TBS network. The Dodgers lead that series 2-0. Brewers have not done much offensively in those first 2 games back home in Milwaukee. Only 2 runs and 5 hits combined in the 2 games. So they better get going if they want to stay in contention here. That's the best of 7 series, of course. And then at 7:30 on FS1 is Game 4 of the American League Championship Series. So Toronto Blue Jays and the Seattle Mariners go at it again out in Seattle. And as noted above, the Mariners came back. Our Mariners won the first 2 games, and the Blue Jays came back last night to win. So the Mariners now lead 2-1. We also have football tonight, Thursday night NFL game on Prime Video. The 4-1 Pittsburgh Steelers with a rejuvenated 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers. He'll be 42 in a little over a month. He is leading the Pittsburgh Steelers to a resurgence, 4-1, as I mentioned. They'll play the 2-4 Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. They have a newly acquired 40-year-old quarterback, Joe Flacco, playing for them because their main guy, Joe Burrow, is out with a turf toe.
I've heard that. What's a turf toe?
Well, it's where you basically stub your toe, and it can cause a fracture in the bones of the big toe. In his case, he did have a fractured bone,
painful.
and he's going to be out for a couple of months still. So, it's a painful injury because it affects your movement, your running, obviously, and for a quarterback can affect their throwing as well. And there's all different degrees of it, too. You can get just sprains and injuries that may take only a week or 2 to recover from, but the more serious ones can take many weeks. So that should be an interesting game tonight. Pittsburgh is a 4.5-point favorite over the Cincinnati Bengals. The Chicago Bears are 3-2 now with a 3-game winning streak after their win this past Monday out in Washington against the Commanders. They'll play a Sunday noon game at home against the 1-5 New Orleans Saints. That's on the Fox network. Bears are 4.5-point favorites at home against the Saints. College football this weekend. Illinois dropped out of the top 25. They are at the 26th slot. Probably can move back into the top 25 if they can handle the if they can handle the Washington Huskies. But that game will be next weekend. They are off this week and don't play Washington until Saturday, October 25th. And meanwhile, Notre Dame is going to play this week, and they moved up to number 13 in this week's ranking after their 4th win in a row. They beat North Carolina State last weekend. They are 4-2 on the season. They'll play USC on Saturday night, 6:30 p.m. on NBC. Notre Dame a 9.5-point favorites. USC is pretty good. They're 5-1 on the season. And last night, the Chicago Blackhawks beat the St. Louis Blues 8-3. A pretty thorough thumping by the Blackhawks, who looked much better this year. Now, they are just 2-1 on the season. St. Louis drops to 2-0 for the season. But the Blackhawks, a pretty good-looking young team. They got a good young goalie. And
was there a lot of penalties? Were they skating down a guy a lot? Or?
No, there weren't a lot. There were a few, and there were a couple of power play goals, as they call them. I think each team scored once on the power play. But no, mostly it was just fast skating and passing by the Blackhawks that sort of confounded the Blues. Watched part of the game and listened to some of it. And
now, to me, those announcers are impressive.
Well, I agree.
Because it's so fast.
Hardest sport, I think, to do play-by-play.
Did you see a baseball announcer doing the hockey?
Yeah.
They'd never get there. They would never get there.
They got to know the players just by how they look, because you can't always see the numbers.
Yeah.
They're always crammed up against the boards.
You got to know them by their stick.
Or they're not facing you the right way.
The way they skate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it moves so fast.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have trouble identifying who you folks are.
We should wear numbers.
We sit in the same seat.
Yeah, that wouldn't help. That wouldn't help.
That's it for sports right
Yes,
there.
all right. Sports with Dr. Gene Sidler. And a little reminder, you can get more information, particularly about Bradley and Bradley basketball, by going to bradleyfans.com. No charge. You have no fee, and you, yeah, it's free, and you have quite a following. How many hits do you get in a month? Time?
Oh, we get millions of hits, what we call page views, so that if you're on there, you could rack up 10, 20, 30, 50 page views just yourself. But as far as like unique users, probably 10,000 unique users per month.
I'd like to advertise on there.
Yeah.
Well, we
sell
do
advertising?
we do have some ads on there.
do you?
Yeah,
Who are some of
it
your-
helps.
Who are some of your sponsors? Who have?
Well, we have something called Google Ads, so it depends on your computer. It looks like the cookies
That's
of
right.
the website you visited, and then it'll give you ads. Like I just bought something off Temu.com.
Oh,
Now I'm
okay.
getting all these Temu ads
Yeah,
across
you
my...
messed up there.
Yeah.
So you've got some porn site stuff then? Oh no.
I specifically
Yeah. How do you
block out.
You
You know,
block
they
that?
give you the option
Okay.
of blocking out certain types of ads.
You get a check.
Dating ads, I don't have dating ads because
Yeah.
there's lots of them that want to
Oh,
put their
gosh, yeah.
stuff on your, because they figure men are mainly the,
Well, they're sports guys.
purveyors of sports websites.
Sure,
so,
sure.
They would
You
have
have
all
gambling stuff?
I've nixed that one as well. So
did
we don't
you?
have
Okay.
gambling or
You're just
the,
a clean-cut guy.
well,
Well, he's a doctor. What do you expect?
Well, not anymore.
I
Well,
want
he's
to
still a dog, but-
keep it classy.
Not Big Al. This is Little Gene. And do you get a check? Do you get a check, Little Gene, at the end of the month?
Well, it's a direct deposit thing, and yeah, they pay for your hosting the ads. It's not a lot.
Maybe you should start bringing in donuts now.
Like I say, so far it hasn't even come close to paying for the. It cost me like four figures to update my website.
you
did?
yeah,
Yeah.
we before this season.
It's a
we
huge
went with
website. There's a
whole
lot
new
of
software
information on there,
package
yeah.
and everything, just because over time hackers figure out
Yeah.
little flaws in the software, how they can get in
Yeah.
and manipulate stuff and steal data from you and post ads for free that then pay them instead of you, and stuff like that. So we finally had to get rid of our old software and put a whole new software on. And that's expensive to do.
Oh,
yeah, it
gosh,
cost
yeah.
me, like I say, over $1,000, and we're just starting to
Wow,
make back.
over $1,000.
And your time, you get zero for
And
your
I don't,
time.
yeah, I don't make money off this. So we look to just raise enough through the ads to pay for the hosting costs that we
Yeah.
have to pay to put our website on the internet, and then we have to pay for people to maintain it and do things like that. So
That's great.
yeah, there's a little cost involved.
Yeah. Well, so it's not as profitable as what we were imagining. Earlier?
It's not profitable at all.
It's not,
It
yeah.
breaks even.
And
The
that's
first
a good
10
thing.
years, I
you got a
just paid
hobby
for it
that
out of
breaks
pocket.
even, you're way ahead of the game. There's guys that spend thousands on their hobbies, and
Well, I do that too.
Oh, you got some of those hobbies too.
I have some of those as
Okay,
well.
well,
So the bottom line is,
the guy was a doctor. You had a pretty good little income there for a while.
well,
Well, I don't play golf.
there
That's
you
where
go.
doctors spend all their
Yeah.
time. I don't.
And that's expensive.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Well-
you have to, join a country club, and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
well, I feel a little sorry.
Anyway, I just
for
posted.
Gene.
I just posted some new recruiting names that Bradley has been in contact with, and
What is
that's
this?
always of interest. And we have the red-white scrimmage coming up Saturday.
Where's that?
That's at the Renaissance Coliseum. I think it's like 10 o'clock. It starts at 10 o'clock. They introduce the Hall of Fame inductees for this year for Bradley. A couple of basketball players in the group that's going into the Bradley Hall of Fame this year, Walt Lemon and Andrew Warren, names from a few years ago that are among our top 10 scorers in Bradley history. And then the women come on and have a scrimmage, and the men come on and have a scrimmage. You can find the information about that on Bradley Fans.
I'm playing a little soft
it's
music,
like music box.
because there's a little
Music.
sympathy because you work hard,
Yeah.
and you ought to be reimbursed for the hard work, and you're not being reimbursed.
No, it's out of love.
Yeah, and you're spending a lot of money on software, and you're barely getting by.
Should we take up a collection? Hey, look, if you'd like to contribute,
I don't
give
think
us a
that's
call.
exactly the way to put it, right? the ledger for the Bradley Fans Incorporated is a nonprofit. Let me just put it
Are you a
that way.
501c3?
No.
Oh, no? Okay.
It's kind of like,
It's a charitable
No, I get a
organization.
1099 and I have to claim this stuff, but then I have to show the receipts for the
Well, let's
money I
raise money
put
for him,
in.
Roger. Fifth
Well,
caller to
that's
come
not
in,
the fifth caller yet.
we'll match whatever you...
no, you will match it, not me. This program is a charitable organization
You know, a
as well.
lot of these
I'll give you my paycheck from the show.
Every college team has some kind of a fan website, or at least most of them do. Some of them will ask for donations.
Oh, yeah.
I've never asked people to donate.
You never have.
I do this because I love it.
You've
not because I
suggested
want
it.
somebody to pay me
You know,
for it.
it's just like this show. I don't make any money at the end of the year. I sometimes wind up losing money. But, you know, I don't have a hobby. I don't play golf. I don't play ping pong.
You
I
really
don't,
are. You lead quite a boring life.
Yes. And,
But
well,
we donate. We donate donuts. And water.
And water, yeah, I appreciate
Well, yeah,
that.
Gene brings the water, right?
See, we started this in November of 2002, Royce and I.
Wow.
And
So you're older than Bradley fans. I've been around since 2005.
see, yeah, and we've been around. And what happened was the doctor was talking to me, and he said essentially the same thing you did. So it must be on my medical file on the computer. He says you lead an awfully boring life, and he said, here's your option. We can get you on some medication. Or, I know you like radio. Would you like to do a radio show? And I said, yes.
There you go.
And he said, okay, for now, we'll skip the medication and see how it goes. Well, I got into radio, and I'm still on, and now I'm back on medication.
Hey, speaking of skipping medication,
Yeah. Yes. We wanted to know, and this comes up, and it's happened to me on more than one occasion, and that is you forget to take your medicine. How long, and then it says, if you miss, don't double up.
Right.
That I understand. But how do you catch
Yeah,
up?
what's
or
the
do
time
you
frame
ever
there?
catch up?
Well, of course, it varies widely based on what medicine it is and what's it for. If it's for a blood pressure pill, and if you remember sometime that day, it's probably good to go ahead and take it. So if you remember, oh, by the afternoon I didn't take my pills this morning, then take it then, or even in the evening. But if you didn't remember until the next day, because it's still in the pill box the next day, then probably you shouldn't take 2 of them the next day, because that may lower your blood pressure a little bit too much. Just get back on schedule with resuming the 1 a day, if it is a 1 a day medication. If it's an antibiotic, yeah, you probably should go ahead and take it, even if it is the next day, because you want to keep that blood level of the antibiotic up high, and now it's probably dropped down below what we call the therapeutic level in your blood, and you need to boost that back up by taking a little bit more than the maintenance dose would accommodate you for. So yeah, it just depends on what it is and what it's for. There's no one simple answer to that. For the most part, you probably shouldn't double up the next day on most things, except maybe that one example I gave of an antibiotic.
How about a blood thinner? You don't want to double up on a blood thinner, do you?
Well, no, not really, because then you're going to, maybe your blood's going to get a little thick one day, but it's going to take a little longer than 1 day to get into a dangerous range. And if you take 2 the next day or take a double dose the next day, it maybe could get your blood a little bit too thin that day, and that's where the really serious side effects come.
Such as?
Well, like bleeding, internal bleeding, bleeding from, ulcer or hemorrhoid or something, and you could get into trouble with that, or, have a hemorrhage in your brain or something much more serious. So.
Yeah.
It's a stroke,
I've heard stories that people are on a blood thinner if they're going to have it used to be, I don't know whether there's so much today, they would tell you, are you on a blood thinner? Yes. Don't take your blood thinner the day before or the day of the procedure. Is that still hold true?
Well, yeah, again, there's a lot of variability, and your surgeon doctor or doctor that's doing whatever procedure you're having will usually tell you, and in fact should tell you, and if they don't, you ask, because it depends if they're going to do a biopsy, if they're going to do some procedure where they could be some bleeding, they will almost certainly have you hold it that day, and maybe even hold it for a few days prior to the procedure. We would always tell people to stop aspirin. Aspirin is a blood thinner. It's a mild blood thinner, but it does tend to cause bleeding. If people are having major surgery, like a knee replacement or a joint replacement, you will tell them to stop taking that aspirin a week ahead of time, because aspirin has a long-lasting effect.
It does.
Oh, yeah, it can last for many days.
Unlike Eliquis, as an example.
Yeah, Eliquis
That's
is
what, a 12 hour?
much shorter acting. Yeah, you take it twice a day.
Yes.
It has a little longer action than 12 hours, but you want that overlapping effect a little bit. It probably loses maybe half or more than half of its effect in 12 hours, so that's when you take another dose. That one you probably, again, if you're going to have like a joint replacement, you would probably stop that one maybe 2 to 3 days ahead of time, or maybe just 1 or 2 days ahead of time. Again, your doctor should tell you what to do in that case. But certainly, yeah, blood thinners you want to be careful to avoid if you're having any procedure that's going to risk bleeding.
You know, with what's happened at the Last Chance, I have to look for a joint replacement now.
True enough. I mean, that was one of my favorite joints, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that place is not very hip.
Yeah, but boy, I tell you what, a few times I've eaten there.
You missed it.
What did he say?
It's not very hip.
No, I stepped
Hip
on your
joint replacement.
punchline there. I wasn't
That's all right.
I wasn't ready for that.
It wasn't great, but I heard it. It was, you go.
Jonathan Winters all of a sudden on our program. By the way, I want to say that, again, earlier this week we talked to Mike Olson. He had knee replacement surgery. And
Get well, Nate.
And he said this coming along, he's had therapy, and it's very important after the surgery to have the therapy, and it can be painful, can it not?
Yes, I had 3 of them, and they were a little bit
You only
painful.
have 2 knees.
Yeah, what the heck? How'd you have 3?
Yeah.
Where did my other one?
Well,
No,
wait a minute, I thought there was the
I
right
had
knee, the
a
left knee, and the
complication,
weenie.
and
That's a urological.
You had that replaced?
I had a complication, and I had to have the first one redone. So I had 3.
That's good, Mike. You didn't say that at rehearsal.
Oh, my.
Well, you know, it didn't come up at rehearsal.
Rehearsal wasn't that exciting.
Well, you know, it was boring rehearsal.
We went on a slippery slope when we opened
we
this
did.
Oh,
Pandora's
Yeah, well,
box. You know, are you ever offended by some of the pharmaceutical commercials on television? Some of them are now saying consult your doctor, or a clever way is ask your doctor about XYZ.
Oh yeah, that's kind of how they all advertise. They want you to bring it up with your doctor because they figure that the doctor's not smart enough to know this.
Yeah. I'm not a doctor, but I find some of those commercials insulting to the medical
I
profession.
don't know why they do it. They must
I
be
think
getting,
most.
Yeah.
it must work for them because it's all prescription stuff, and I'm going, well, you can't get it unless a doctor prescribes it, but they
Yeah.
must get
And
people
some
to.
of it is for some.
Did you get pushed by
esoteric-
patients to
Yeah.
prescribe?
Not very often.
Well,
Very
here's the
rarely.
thing,
Which
you know-
I was
So
blessed
how are these
not to
commercials
get that.
working like that?
well, there's
How?
so many medications out there, and they're overlapping things. You know, you've got, how many medications do you have for lowering blood sugar? I mean, there's
Well,
a chapter in the
yeah.
PDR.
There are a whole bunch of those new, they call them the GLP-1 drugs
Yeah.
for diabetes, and of course those are the ones that help people lose weight, so they're very popular. And the competition between the brands obviously is very high, and so yeah, I can see trying to advertise something like that, but then you see these ads for these diseases you never heard of.
I know, I can't pronounce them.
Very
You've never
rare
heard of them.
diseases, and
It's
you
like,
got to wonder, they're spending millions on advertising a drug that maybe only a few hundred people in the country
Right.
have.
Well, the one I remember, speaking of weenie, is I better not go any further.
Yeah. Well,
But you know, what percentage of the male population, you know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well,
With
I
that
think I do.
commercial.
Hymns.
Is that the one with the
Look, no,
fountains or
No, it's the one that
the ED
the guy
commercials?
that,
Or?
they show a carrot.
Oh, the
And,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
the other thing is that all these diseases that you learn in medical school, you know, under the real name, now I'll have just letters. The PD, Peyronie's disease.
Right.
Oh.
And ED, and oh gosh, I can't name them all. But yes, that's. I
the,
never saw a patient with that.
never,
saw.
And
Now
yet
maybe
you
they
see
go to
the
your
commercials.
office.
Yeah.
So
You wouldn't
no,
look
it's
at
not
it? Or?
common.
Oh. What's the one with, I've seen a bunch of us, like, I've never seen anybody, it's a splotchy skin.
Oh, yeah.
Vitiligo.
Yeah.
Vitiligo,
What is
yeah.
it?
Vitiligo,
is
yeah.
it's an autoimmune disease where your own
I've never seen
antibodies attack
anyone-
the cells that produce melanin.
I've never seen a person with
Oh,
that.
I
have.
had
I've
several
seen a few.
patients that had
Really?
varying
You don't
degrees
get
of it.
out a whole lot.
I must
Cliff,
not.
do you?
It's
I'm
one of
not going
going
to
on
see it
how?
in your garage.
No, I know, I can't.
One of the problems, though, is they come up with all these ads for this drug and that drug for very, very niche
Narrow
diseases.
part of the
Yeah.
market.
And so you end up with all these people that are quick going online to, you know, MD.com. Oh my God,
WebMD.
I've got Globner's disease. That explains everything. I mean, and it just seems to encourage hypochondria in some people.
Yeah,
I think it does. Again, I might have had maybe a slightly more sophisticated patient population that wasn't so quick to fall for a lot of that stuff. And so, yeah, I never had too many people say, I want this drug, or what about this drug? Why are you giving me this one when this one that says it's better? You know,
Right.
I can see that probably a lot of people do that.
Yeah. Jeez.
But
I'm going to go back to the blood thinners, because before you had products like Eliquis, which is, my understanding, one of the safest blood thinners on the marketplace. In the beginning, they used to have, what was the name of it? They called it rat poison.
Warfarin.
well, it's
Yeah.
warfarin, and it
Warfarin,
goes
yeah.
by it used to go by the brand name of Coumadin.
Coumadin,
Yeah.
yeah. And you had to have, a ProTime, you had to go
it
in and
worked
get
differently
your,
on every patient, and it could differ based on how active your liver was, so it was affected widely by foods and things that take up the liver energy a little bit, so maybe it causes it not to metabolize the Coumadin, and so it can affect your blood thinner. So you had to get these blood tests called ProTimes,
Right.
prothrombin times. It basically was a measure of how long it took your blood to clot. You'd want it to take about twice as long to clot in a tube as what it would normally take. And so they would draw your blood, they would neutralize the Coumadin effect.
was it a once a week? They stuck
Well,
you for
again,
blood?
it just depended on how volatile it was.
You look like a pincushion.
For most
Yeah.
people, it was maybe once a month, or even sometimes longer if they were real steady. If you find that you're not changing medicines over many months of time, then you can stretch it out and not do it as often. If you find that everyone is so wildly different, you have to keep adjusting the dose and doing the blood tests more and more often. So yeah, everybody was different, and there was no way to do it at home. They had to come in and do it in the lab. And so these new drugs work by blocking a different step in the blood clotting process, and that tends to be more predictable and work about the same on everybody, as opposed to the way that the Coumadin worked.
All right, that wraps up Ask the Doctor this morning.
Our medical
Dr.
hour.
Gene Zidler. And so let's get into the news. Coming up after the news and the weather, this day in history. And you're going to like the question that I'm going to ask.
Okay.
And I can tell you, you will get the answer very quickly if...
Who will?
We'll see.
There's three of us.
The three of you, yes.
Okay.
In the meantime, let's check out the news. Brought to you by Bob Manning. He is financial advisor, senior vice president at the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley in downtown Peoria. Beautiful facilities, by the way. Beautiful office. And what used to be the Bergner's building. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Shortly? You
I
bet.
sold it.
At any rate, you did?
I did.
You were part of the sale, huh?
Well, I represented the trust that sold it.
Well, I'm impressed.
Well, it's not impressive.
For all your investment needs, consider Bob. He's available at 309-671-4653. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, that's quite a crew. LLC, member SIPC. Mike has the news.
Thanks, Roger. The Peoria County Sheriff's Department reports vandals caused an estimated $100,000 damage Tuesday night at the Last Chance Barn Grill in Alta, north of Peoria. Sheriff Chris Watkins said it was one of the worst cases of vandalism he'd ever seen. Heating and air conditioning units were destroyed, windows were broken, power lines severed, water pipes broken, and the Second Chance Beer Garden trashed. Even a nearby storage shed was damaged. Sheriff Watkins joins us at 8:15 this morning, and he'll talk more about what happened then. Another controversy at the Peoria airport. The Homeland Security TV messages talking about the government shutdown and how it's impacting the work of TSA agents is not being shown on airport TV screens. They're too political, according to TV airport director Gene Olson. However, TV sets owned by the Transportation Security Administration are showing the public service announcements in check-in areas all about the airport. Several years ago, the Peoria Airport refused to fly the POW MIA flag as requested by some local veterans, including Vietnam veteran Gary Hall of Peoria. Hall enlisted the aid of Peoria State Senator Dave Kaler, and the state legislature overwhelmingly passed a bill requiring the flying of the flag at General Wayne R. Downing Airport and at all state airports. Peoria County Coroner Jamie Harwood says the man who was shot in the head in the 2300 block of West Antoinette last Saturday has died at OSF St. Francis Medical Center. Harwood identified the victim as 22-year-old Kamari Davis Rickman. 3 teens, 2 16-year-olds and the other 17, have been charged with first-degree murder. This is the city's 10th murder of the year. A detention hearing will be held today for 17-year-old Javion Irby, Davion Webster, and Orlando Hansen, both 16. If found guilty, the 3 could spend most of the rest of their lives in prison. Bartonville officials report a fire set at a 2-story home in the 5000 block of Jefferson Street around 10 o'clock yesterday morning. Bartonville firefighters received support from the 182nd Airlift Fire Unit and the Limestone Fire Department. No injuries occurred on the scene. The fire originated in the basement of the structure. No damage reports were issued. It was a big day for radio and TV veteran Chuck Collins yesterday. Peoria Mayor Rita Ali proclaimed Wednesday as Chuck Collins Day. The former radio DJ turned weatherman on WEEK TV has retired after some 50 years in broadcasting. In world news, Israel has received the remains of 2 more hostages. That news comes after officials said that the body of one of the alleged hostages returned yesterday was not a hostage. The information came from a forensic laboratory in Tel Aviv. And Roger, that's it for news at the bottom of the hour.
All right, thank you kindly, Mike Dentino. It's time to check out your policy, your Medicare plan, because the enrollment period for Medicare is begun, started yesterday until the 7th of December, and this is the time that you have a chance to review your plan and maybe make some changes, and there are some changes being made. You need to consult a guy who is a professional, been at it for a long time. That happens to be Sam Lilly and Associates. He's been in the insurance business as an independent broker, my golly, for over 40 years now, and he specializes in Medicare plans. Have any questions? Get a hold of him at 309-245-4374. That's 309-245-4374. What do you have for the weather?
It's going to clear up today, Roger. It's going to be about 77 degrees out there, 62 for a low tonight, sunny and windy tomorrow, high 80. Maybe some showers after midnight, low about 64. Saturday, Probably showers and 75. Right now, it's around 60 at the wazoo.
There you have it. News and weather at the bottom of the hour. So happy to see everybody. If you're just joining us, Dr. Gene Sidler, Mike Dentino, Terry Grauer, yours truly, Roger Monroe. So happy. Happy that we have our This Day in History question for our distinguished panel.
Extinguished.
And we're going to October 16th, 18...
No.
Wait a minute. Yes, 1859.
1859. I
Yes.
don't know.
Which hotel?
Yeah.
Is the room number?
No.
Does that have to do with something in the U.S.?
Yes.
The president?
No.
No. Who was James Buchanan?
Yep.
Was it a happy thing? A good thing?
No.
So it was a tragedy. So there was a tragedy?
No, if you're thinking about a fire or a
Weather-
tornado or
weather-
something,
no.
no.
Was it a criminal act?
Well, to some it was, and to some it was wonderful. Now remember what was going on in the country at
Yes,
the time.
I'm getting at that. Did it involve John Brown?
Yes, it did.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
And that's when he took over the artillery depot in Maryland.
Harper's Ferry,
Harper Ferry is right.
Is that Virginia or Maryland?
Wow, I'm impressed.
Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah.
Very good. I knew you would get it.
I didn't know it was,
Abolitionists
John
Brown led a small group on a raid against a federal armory in Harpers Ferry, Virginia, in an attempt to start an armed slave revolt and destroy the institution of slavery. After securing the backing of prominent abolitionists, Brown assembled an invasion force of how many people? How many men?
It wasn't.
2 digits.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was not a large
Two
amount.
digit.
It was
didn't
like
know they had to-
15 or so.
Well, a little higher than that.
Okay.
25,
Ooh, a little lower than that.
23.
Ooh, just slightly lower.
22?
22. Very good.
Uncanny how
Yes,
good we
yes.
are.
Wow.
Yeah, I tell you what.
Now you can go out for recess.
I didn't know they had
Yes.
ferries back then.
Yes, they
They've been
included.
everywhere.
Oh, really?
They included. Listen to this: 5 black men and 3 of Brown's sons. Did you know that?
No, did not know that.
On the night of October 16th, 1859, Brown and his band, the band of renown, was who?
That was Les Brown.
Les Brown. Very good, Steve. Right, Les Brown.
That was not one of his brothers.
No, that was not one of his
This is
sons.
Earl.
And his band overran the arsenal. Some of his men rounded up a handful of hostages, including a few enslaved people. A company of U.S. Marines arrived on October 17th, led by Colonel who?
Colonel Klink.
No.
Was it somebody who became famous in the war?
Yes.
Was it
For the South.
For the South.
Colonel
Well-known name.
Beauregard.
Not Jefferson Davis.
No. Very well-known name. Last name.
Jackson.
Last name had 3 letters, 2 of the
Lee.
same.
Robert E. Lee.
Yeah, very good.
Lee.
Robert E. Lee. On the morning of October 19th, the soldiers defeated Brown, and his followers. 10 of his men killed, including
John
His
Brown.
2 of his
Yeah.
sons. Have they ever done a movie of this?
There have been movies made,
Yeah.
but not for a long time. No, I mean some of it. I've seen an old movie somewhere from the 40s on this.
Yeah, probably, or maybe even the 30s.
Maybe
but
even earlier. Yeah.
Brown was tried by the state of
was
Virginia
hung.
for treason and murder, and he was found guilty. And what do you think they did?
he was hung by the
You're
neck until
exactly
dead.
On December 2nd, Merry Christmas, 1859.
Yeah, well.
Yeah,
There's a song.
That's
John Brown's body.
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
John Brown's body still was smoldering in the grave or something like that.
Who sang that?
Oh, I don't know. It was like a.
Was that Rolling
like
Stones?
a Negro spiritual or something.
Do you know what did he do when he wasn't?
What was John Brown?
John Brown.
I
I can't
think he was
recall.
a preacher.
I remember reading his biography. years and years ago.
Yeah.
But I could look it up and see what he was. Seems
he-
like he was a minister or something.
I think John.
Yeah, he was an evangelical Christian religious Puritan leader.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Were we talking about John Paul Young? Is that who it was?
I
Oh
don't
no,
think
that
so.
was
No,
that's not John Brown.
That's
is it?
not, no, that's
Knock it off.
different. That's a different,
Yeah, sometimes our
That's
engineers had too much to drink.
well,
And incidentally, let's get back to one of the stories, one of the commercial messages we have. They're not commercials on this station; they're called sponsorships. There is a difference. There are certain restrictions on our sponsorship messages, whereas there are no restrictions on commercials. And that is, I got the packet from Aetna, and it was a large packet, and you have now two options. Now, I haven't looked into it, and
For what
you
now?
have Aetna for Medicare.
Medicare,
oh,
yeah.
Medicare, oh, okay.
And
Medicare Advantage.
I hear there's
Right.
supposed to be
Part, C.
changes this year.
yeah, well, there are.
Well, they all
have,
change
have you looked
somewhat
at it?
Yeah, I did it, and I studied it quite carefully.
And what are your conclusions?
Well, just like what happened last year, they've changed it and increased some of the maximum amounts, out-of-pocket costs, and they've increased some of the deductibles. So in other words, they're taking a little bit away from it. It shows.
Right, right.
But it's still a bargain.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Aetna offers like about 7 different plans. Actually, I
Okay.
think they've cut it down to 3 or 5 this year. But some of them have premiums. Some are no premium, zero premium. And the zero premium ones, if you are a person in pretty good health and don't plan on seeing a doctor a whole lot of times in the 2026 calendar year, you're best to probably just stick with one of those no premium, zero premium Medicare Advantage plans. Humana has some very good ones too. They're very comparable. In our area, there's only, I think, 4 companies offering
I think you're right. Yeah.
There's WellCare, there's United,
Humana,
and there's
United Healthcare.
Humana and Aetna. Those 4 are the only ones, at least in
And
Tazewell
you like
County, I
Aetna
think
the
Peoria is
best?
the same. What?
You liked Aetna the best?
I happen to be with Aetna, so I'm going to stay with Aetna. But if I had my choice de novo, I would probably flip a coin between Humana and Aetna.
Oh, okay.
They're pretty much the same. Humana still has that OTC benefit, you know what I mean, where,
Over the counter.
where you get $75 a month or a quarter.
That's pretty good.
And over the counter.
Doesn't
goods.
Aetna have
Basically,
something like
you can go to Walgreens and buy anything in Walgreens or
Right.
CVS. I think is Aetna. CVS owns. Or
Yeah,
Aetna
all
owns CVS.
non-prescription stuff, right?
Yes, it has
Right.
to. it ha-
OTC.
Yeah, and it
Oh.
can't be stuff like paper towels or
No.
iced tea or something like that you
vitamins
get out of the
and
cooler.
No licorice?
It has to be the stuff in the
Don't say that.
pharmaceutical
Six-pack,
area.
not a six-pack, you can't get
But
a...
vitamins and bandages
Yeah.
and a cane or a porta potty or something like that. Those things are covered by the OTC benefit. But Aetna dropped that. It bugged me because I used to buy a few things with the over.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did drop that, didn't they?
Yeah. Do you have Aetna?
Yeah, but
Yeah, they
I-
cut that out
Yeah, they sure
to
did.
save money, but it's still it's pretty good.
They did lie to me, however.
Oh, how come, what they
Okay,
say?
I'll tell you what. As we've discussed earlier on the medical hour, brought to you by BradleyFans.com. I'm on a blood thinner, okay, and I take Eliquis. In January of this year, I had to pay $595. I'd never paid that before.
For a year?
For the month.
Yeah.
For the month.
For a month.
And so I complained
Well,
to
yeah,
my.
it's not going to be that every month. You're paying upfront part of your year's deductible.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
However,
okay.
okay, my ankle. So last year I was paying $49.95 until about October, and they said, "Oh, you're in the donut hole,"
Oh, God.
and
yeah.
I thought that was free donuts from Casey's,
no.
but then it jumped to $149 a month last year, starting in September, October. Well, that's okay because I've been paying $49, but this year $595, and they said, but it's going to be adjusted later in the year, Roger. guess what I pay? And since then, every month, $149.
Well, I think they did away with the donut hole phenomena,
Well, we'll pay-
and that's why your monthly all year is higher.
Yeah.
You're just basically paying it up front instead of a big
But
slam.
I didn't pay the $5.95.
Well, but right,
And
it's
so-
not.
That's the increased
You're talking
deductible.
peanuts to keep you alive. I mean, well, here I got an idea. Doc, back me up on this. Do you know where you can get a hold of a leech? I mean, it's for blood thinning, right? You could always use leeches. That won't do it.
That's what
Well, I
you-
thought that would do it.
You
Leeches
sound
just take
somewhat
blood
like that
out.
when you.
Well, yeah, they take blood out and thin your blood.
No,
it doesn't work that way?
Blood.
Okay.
No, it
Not
doesn't.
the
I'm
way
just
we're
trying to
talking
help.
You know as much about medicine as you do about sports. Yeah. At any rate, so it's
Anybody got a hat?
Yeah.
Pass the hat for you, Rod.
It's $149 every month.
Yeah,
And
That's
here we
gonna
are.
break you,
I
Rod.
just brought, well, I'm thinking about people who are on fixed income.
Okay, you're
You
thinking
know,
about other people,
this is-
not
this-
yourself.
yeah.
Okay, good.
This is, ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
this is a life-saving drug.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
people.
yeah.
It is.
And if you have people on low income and on fixed income, they're up a wall. Now, you remember Congress responded over helping people with diabetes.
Right.
Did they not lower
'cause they were all
the
getting
cost of insulin
Yeah, in the
as a
case of
result?
insulin, yeah.
They need to do it for blood thinners.
Yeah, I mean, because I know, what was it beginning of last year? I would go crazy because every month I take a long-acting insulin once a day, and every month it was like it's 59. Oh, now it's 89. Now it's 110. Now it's 59. Now it's 39. Now every month it was like, Russian roulette. What am I going to pay this month? And every time I call to say, so what is going on? I mean, it is what it is. I got to pay it. But I'd like to know why is this
going
like
up?
lobster?
Why
Is
is
it
it
the
very-
market price?
Market price.
Yeah, is it market price for insulin this week?
That is a good analogy, Mike.
So,
he wins that.
It's like when you've seen those
That's
videos
right.
of the restaurant owners at the fish market.
Yeah,
I
right.
paid 50 for that. They're
I'll
all
pay
bidding for
$200 for that
insulin.
tuna.
You got Walgreens down there bidding for.
How much do you want to pay for
Insulin cost
Eloquist?
market.
I bid $49.95. No, we settled at $149.
I figured maybe if I go early to CVS, it'll be cheaper. But
It doesn't work that way. does it?
but now, I mean, I still don't know
Go
exactly
to
what
Sam's. Can you get it in
changed.
bulk? Can you get bulk?
Well,
What you need to do is go
Yeah.
to Canada.
go to or go to like one of these websites like GoodRx, where
Does that
I mean
work?
I've done things like I've gone to get mail order drugs from Singapore and Canada.
Isn't Amazon in that business now?
I would not be
They're not at
surprised.
pharmacies, so I don't
I
think you
thought
can
they
get
were selling
prescriptions.
pharmacies at Amazon.
Well, I mean, I know that
No?
I've not heard that.
Costco is in.
Well,
Costco,
Isn't it
yeah.
true, gentlemen, that many of our medications come from China?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Because I looked on my.
Indeed,
I-
the precursors do, even if they are manufactured in the U.S., a lot of the precursor chemicals come from China, yeah.
Because I looked on one about a month ago, and it said brought to you by One Hung Low.
Was it?
And I knew then that was a Chinese.
Don't tee it up for Terry here, come on.
That's
On-
for your
yeah,
ED
him
medication.
and his brother on too long.
Yeah.
Hey, I got good news for you right
Okay,
here.
good help.
Eliquis becomes generic April 1st, 2028. So you just
there
hang
you go.
on a
Hang
couple
on,
more
buddy.
years.
More years,
Hang on.
yeah.
2.5 more years, it will be generic. Your price
It'll be
will
a
drop
zero
drastically.
copay,
Get for
yeah.
nothing.
Yes.
And
Until then, just a little bloodletting, I think.
But
would
yeah, I
work.
mean, but with insulin now, I mean, it's now $35 a month. It's the same thing
see,
every month.
and they
it
need
makes
to
a
do that
difference.
with
Yeah.
blood thinners.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Get a hold of our local
they'll
congressman.
catch up.
I looked up, gentlemen,
Yeah.
the song John Brown's Body, and here's what it
John
sounds.
Brown's body lies a mouldering in the grave. John Brown's body lies a mouldering in the grave. John Brown's body lies a mouldering in the grave, but his soul goes marching on.
Oh, Saints go marching.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah.
Why is it an Irish brogue?
but his soul goes marching on.
Do you know who the singer is?
Yeah, it's an Irish ditty.
Who's the singer?
Looking kindly
I have no
down.
clue.
Yes, you do.
Above in heaven are looking kindly
Oh,
down.
it's almost got
The
to be.
stars above in heaven are looking kindly down on the
No.
grave of old John
Very
Brown.
well-known singer.
Glory,
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 Sounds
hallelujah.
like he's got an
Glory, glory, hallelujah.
Because every time I hear glory, glory, hallelujah, the second line is always teacher
His
hit you
soul
with the ruler.
goes marching on.
That's the old, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that.
It was Pete Seeger.
Oh, Pete Seeger, right. Right genre, wrong guy.
Till she trembled through and through. They hanged him for a traitor.
That
They
was-
themselves
that was a
the traitor
popular
crew.
song,
His
but
soul
it's a
goes
takeoff on what?
marching on.
Glory, glory, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Glory,
Yeah.
glory, hallelujah.
That's the tune, or the melody, I guess.
melody, yeah, I can't, what's the name of the song now? I'm drawing a blank.
Glory, hallelujah.
No, that's why I'm drawing a blank. It stared me right in the face.
Yeah. All right, now, here's
Yeah.
the other question we have. This portion of Ask the Doctor continues, and that is, have you noticed that every day, every week, or certainly every month, there is a new vitamin of the day or vitamin of the month?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And one of the latest is the liver. And
A liver vitamin?
Yeah, yes. And that has to
I've not
rub
seen that.
as a doctor I mean, who worries about their liver? Certainly people who drink don't worry
drinkers.
about it. No, they don't worry about it.
Drinkers don't worry about their liver.
Why should we
I've
be-
seen that ad for this liver compound, and I think it's the one you're referring to. They say 2 million bottles already sold or something like that. And then they show a split screen picture of your liver with
Before.
with all this fatty stuff on it, and then it looks normal on the other side of the screen. You're supposed to believe that you take this stuff and your liver will heal up and become normal if it's all filled
Screwed
with
up.
fat
Yeah.
or something. It's just totally bogus stuff. I mean, it doesn't. First of all, the liver is the most capable organ in our body of regenerating itself. Not too many of our other organs can do that, but our liver can. Even, alcohol is a very serious toxin to our liver. It can withstand years and years of abuse of alcohol, but eventually, you start to compile scar tissue. That's what cirrhosis is. But for the most part, the liver can recover from just about anything. You do not need a supplement to help you get your liver back in shape. Your liver will take care of itself. It's just a con
Isn't
job.
there a fatty
There
liver?
is something called fatty liver, hepatic steatosis.
Oh, wow.
And it is, ordinarily, if you've ever eaten liver, you notice it doesn't have any fat on it like a steak
Right.
does.
It also doesn't taste very good.
I didn't
Liver
bring
and
that up,
onions?
but
No, not
Yeah.
a big
no,
fan.
normally the liver does not have fat in it, but about 10% of people do have some capability of depositing fat in their liver, and certain things like being overweight, obese, and drinking can cause that to build up more. And if you get enough fat deposited in the liver, it can start to interfere with the liver function a little bit.
Such as cirrhosis of the liver.
Well, you start seeing mild elevation of those liver enzymes that your doctor checks every time you get a physical. You get a comprehensive metabolic profile or an 18-channel or 22-channel, they call them. I don't know. Everyone's different.
Channel
But
40.
they all have these liver enzymes on it. And, yeah, you get some elevation of the liver enzymes, and you watch that. Over time, you just kind of watch it. You try to encourage the patient to lose some weight, stop drinking alcohol if they are a drinker, and that will usually either go away or subside or just not get any worse, and they live their lives out normally. It rarely leads to anything more than just a quirky finding if you see the liver enzymes elevated. Sometimes we'll do a CAT scan at an imaging study to look at the liver, and you'll see that it has these little fatty deposits in it. And you just watch it, and you try to do the things that you know will keep it from progressing.
All right.
And there you have it. Ask the doctor and check your liver out. I have heard stories locally of people that I knew who died of cirrhosis of the liver from drinking too much.
Oh, yeah.
Are there symptoms to let you know your liver is in trouble?
You mean like that you're reaching the end?
Well,
Passing
before
below.
then, I
Even
mean,
before that?
are there any red flags to let the person know, hey, the doctors say, hey, we just checked your liver and your liver's in trouble.
Well, yeah, that's
You have to
the
borrow
early,
money for your bar bill. I think that's...
that could be a
one of
sign.
the signs.
But no, the early signs will just be on the blood tests. Your liver enzymes will start to show up in the bloodstream at higher amounts than they should. And that'll go on for years before it will actually cause any symptoms. And the early symptoms are usually going to show up once the liver is like really at near an end stage.
You can't have a liver transplant like you do the heart.
Oh yeah.
You can?
They do liver transplants quite frequently. Yes. Now you have to have a suitable patient. You don't want to put a liver transplant in somebody that's going to just keep drinking, or who has other serious diseases. But sure, no, liver transplants are done fairly frequently.
I didn't know that.
First
I
ones
thought
were
when the liver went
first ones were
south,
done in
that
the
was it.
1970s at the University of Pittsburgh. In fact, we from where I trained, we actually sent patients to Pittsburgh because at the time they were the only ones doing them, and very quickly it became a more widespread procedure all over the country. You had people doing them. I think they're even done here in Peoria now.
What's the fancy name for the liver doctor or the?
The
Are they-
liver, the
Hepatologist?
yeah,
No.
it's
in
called
Greek it's
the liver
a
doctor.
heptos, and so a hepatologist is a
Yeah.
doctor
Oh,
that
okay.
is, or a hepatic failure or something like that is how we refer to it medically.
I thought there's doctors who specialize in that.
Yeah. Well, gastroenterologists
Gastro guys,
are the main doctors that deal, but there are some doctors that just specialize only to liver diseases, and they are called hepatologists.
Okay.
All right, that wraps up hour number 2 of Breakfast with
We're gonna
Roger
have a
and
test on this
Friends
later.
on
next hour.
WAZU FM 90.7, also on YouTube. Coming up in the next hour, we're going to talk to Peoria County Sheriff Chris Watkins, following news, weather, and sports. So stick
Don't use my real
around
name
for
when
that,
he's
yeah.
here, okay?
Okay. Thanks a lot, Fred. Fred is here, also Bob, and Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Bob,
Mary is
Bob,
off
Ted,
today.
Carol, and Alice.
Pete Seeger.
Well, happy Thursday morning, everybody. It is the 16th of October, and we begin with a check of the weather. The weather brought to you by Advanced Medical Transport of Central Illinois, and a time of need. AMT, the good people there, will be there to help you or a loved one in a matter of minutes with the most skilled and advanced pre-hospital care possible. We're talking about AMT, dedicated to providing a better life through better health on WAZU FM 90.7 in Peoria.
It's going to clear up today, Roger, and it's going to be a beautiful day outside. 77 degrees tonight, low 62. Tomorrow, sunny, a little windy, but it's going to be about 80 degrees. Maybe some showers after midnight, the low about 64 tomorrow night. Saturday, showers and 75 degrees. And right now, it's, I don't know what the crawl
59,
says.
I think 59.
Is it 59 still?
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
59
there it
each,
is.
depending on
We
what your
better-
car says driving down the street, but right around 60 degrees.
There you have it.
Close enough.
Now we have the news, a service of Peoria Pet Crematory. The people at Peoria Pet, experienced professionals, they offer several dignified options when you lose your pet. We all have at one time or another, multiple occasions. You can reach them at any hour of the day or night, 7 days a week. And their phone number, 309-713-1898. Mike, what do you have?
Well, Roger, Peoria County Sheriff's Department reports vandals caused an estimated $100,000 in damage Tuesday night at the Last Chance Bar and Grill in Alta, just north of Peoria. Sheriff Chris Watkins said it was one of the worst cases of vandalism he'd ever seen. Heating and air conditioning units were destroyed, windows were broken, power lines severed, water pipes broken, and the Second Chance Beer Garden was trashed. Even a nearby storage shed was damaged. Sheriff Watkins joins us at 8:15 this morning with the latest.
Another controversy at the Peoria Airport. The Homeland Security TV messages talking about the government shutdown and how it's impacting the work of TSA agents is not being shown on airport screens. Apparently, they're too political, according to Airport Director Gene Olson. However, TV sets owned by the Transportation Security Administration are showing the public service announcements at check-in areas at the airport.
Several years ago, the Peoria Airport refused to fly the POW MIA flag as requested by some local veterans, including Vietnam veteran Gary Hall of Peoria. Hall enlisted the aid of Peoria State Senator Dave Kaler, and the state legislature overwhelmingly passed a bill requiring the flying of the flag at General Wayne R. Downing Airport and at all state airports.
What's the flag with the blue line on it with the stars?
That's the Chicago City flag.
City flag, yeah.
That's what it was. It was in Chicago. It was at O'Hare Airport, and there's a whole line of them, and they have an American
Four
flag.
red stars in the
Yeah.
center white banner
When
and
I
then
didn't
blue
know
banner.
that. I didn't know whose flag. I'm looking, going, what country is that? I didn't know, but
Well, it's Democratic country.
is that the Democrat flag? Is that what that? Okay.
Exactly.
But there's a bunch of them, and I did notice too that all the American flags were rather tattered. I didn't know you could fly a tattered.
Not supposed to.
Yeah, they were pretty. I was at O'Hare Airport,
Chicago
and
City flag.
that's exactly what
Yep.
it is. That's a Chicago. Does Peoria have a city flag? Oh, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We've got
yeah,
it's a
it's got-
bear or
Little-
something.
Got a seal or something in the middle
It's
of
a
it.
bear, isn't it?
It's not a
Wal-
bear.
maybe
It's
a
not a
walrus?
bear.
A
no.
walrus? No.
It's got a seal on it, I think.
Yeah,
No,
it's got
it's a platypus.
they just
I
got a
don't know.
new
It's
one.
some kind of an animal, isn't it? Maybe it's a buffalo.
No. Well, it used to be the little Peoria chief
Chief-
head. Or like
No.
an Indian head at one
Oh, yeah, we can't do that now, though,
No,
right?
yeah, that's improper.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
You guys want to
Yeah,
finish the news?
No.
No, we want to. This is local stuff.
I think the ball's in your court.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna tell Roger no. So, okay, where are we?
Yeah, this is actually the Peoria City flag. It's not an attractive flag in my.
That's our flag.
Yeah.
It is the Peoria.
No, it's your
City
flag.
That's not
Right.
my
I'm behind.
flag.
I live in Morton.
Oh, that's just kind of stupid looking. All right.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure,
All
the,
right, back
I'm
to
sure
Moving
the
right
artists
along.
appreciated your.
Okay, where are we at? Okay, here
It
we are.
used to be. It used to be this flag.
Yeah.
But because of.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah, I remember the
damaging,
Indian
I think
thing.
They wanted to get
Oh,
rid of.
that's very denigrating to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I know.
They-
I'm disgusted just looking at it now.
That was from the Fakawi tribe,
How
right?
could we do that? How are you? How are you?
How are you?
Are you going to do the news? You're gonna
Yeah,
sit
but it's a
there-
serious story, so I want to kind of bring it
Well,
down. a
you
little
may
bit.
want to jump over it.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'll jump over it. Bartonville officials report a fire. Well, shoot. At a two-story home in the 5000 block of Jefferson Street around 10 yesterday morning, Bartonville firefighters received support from the 182nd Airlift Wing Division. Isn't that Colonel Ballard's
Yes.
place?
It is.
Yeah. So the colonel was out there hosing it down with him, was he?
I don't know if he
think
was.
so.
Well, we'll ask him. The fire originated in the basement of the structure. No damage report was issued, but they didn't lose the basement, I guess. Huh?
Well, it was a big day. It was a big day in radio and TV for veteran broadcaster Chuck Collins yesterday. Peoria Mayor Rita Ali proclaimed that Wednesday was Chuck Collins' day. The former radio DJ turned weatherman on WEEK TV has retired after some 50 wonderful years in broadcasting.
Hey, in world news, Israel has received the remains of 2 more hostages. That news comes after officials said that the body of one of the alleged hostages returned yesterday was not a hostage. The information came from a forensic laboratory in Tel Aviv.
And the guy who's expected to be elected the next mayor of New York City, socialist Zoran Mandani, says it's too early to give President Trump credit for ending the war in Gaza. Apparently, the Uganda native doesn't think gaining the release of all of the hostages is not worthy of a compliment or two. The Democrat, appearing on Fox News, also pledged to have Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu arrested if he visits New York City in the future. Mandani says that the International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for the Israeli leader, but the United States doesn't support the IC court.
You know, this guy has said some of the most outrageous, radical things.
nuts.
And he continues to have 44% of the support.
Crazy.
And he's going to be the next mayor of New York City.
Oh, God.
And boy, I'll tell you what, if that isn't an omen of bad things are down the road, I don't know what is. And you have to blame it, in my opinion, partially to the fact that we allowed into this country 15 to 20 million, who knows how many, really some bad people from other countries.
We'll just have to wait and see. I mean, the only solace I take is I don't have to go to New York City at any time in the foreseeable future. So that's off my list of
Things to
intended
do,
destinations.
Yeah, they're not going to affect us like Chicago does.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And that may be next.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, Chicago.
You know, some of the things that Governor Pritzker said, I never thought he would ever say.
Well,
But he is adopting, in my opinion, some of the wild and crazy socialistic ideas that are not. If we go back to the 50s and 60s, people would run candidates out of town for the things that are being said today.
absolutely, but he's in his little Democratic bubble, the echo chamber that he exists in. People keep egging him on, and all I can tell the guy is, hey, try a salad once in a while.
I think he is losing weight.
Yeah.
Well, if he turns around, he'll find it.
Yeah. All right. We learned early that hard work produces results. That's why realtor Kathy Reynolds is so successful as a realtor. She works hard to get results for her clients seeking to sell or buy, and maybe both, their next home. Learn more from Kathy Reynolds. She's available today at 309-696-2162. Now more news from WCBU.
From the WCBU newsroom, I'm June Delahunty. The city of Peoria is taking action to block public nuisance gatherings and give police authority to order crowds to disperse. The city council unanimously approved the measure this week. City Attorney Patrick Hayes says it allows officers to break up gatherings of 10 or more people with at least 2 instances of specified illegal activities.
We're trying to put a tool in law enforcement's hands that deal with the circumstances that they see on the streets and that give them an opportunity to warn our citizens that they need to disperse before they take action.
Councilmember Mike Vespa raised concerns over potential First Amendment challenges, but Hayes says the ordinance will not be used against civil protests. The city of Pekin is taking action to prevent contractors with delinquent property tax balances from working for the city. A new potential ordinance will require that any company bidding and doing work for Pekin will be in good standing. City Attorney Jim Vaselli says that includes more than just not paying property taxes.
When we enter into real estate contracts, for example, or other transactions where we are more directly involved, we will go to the business services website and ensure that they are in good standing.
The move comes after the discovery that a business contract by Pekin had delinquent property tax issues. The Peoria County Sheriff's Office is investigating a case of vandalism that caused an estimated $100,000 in damage to a Peoria tavern. Sheriff Chris Watkins says deputies were called to the Last Chance Bar on West 2nd Street at around 3:30 Wednesday morning. The building had been damaged with items scattered around the property. Deputies discovered extensive damage both inside and outside of the building. A well-known family-operated Peoria bar and pizzeria is celebrating 100 years in business. Fans of Agatucci's restaurant gathered today to kick off the festivities. Mayor Rita Ali noted that the business holds the oldest continuous liquor license in Peoria.
Agatucci's has been more than a restaurant. It's been a gathering place, a tradition, and a living piece of our city's history.
The gathering featured a new commemorative logo and an honorary street sign at the intersection of University Street and Gift Avenue. I'm June Delahunty.
That's what I get carrying on a conversation here. Anyway, let's get into sports, brought to you by BradleyFans.com. Dr. Gene Sidler reporting. Good morning, Gino.
Good morning, Roger. We'll try to get the sports in this time.
Okay.
I won't say anything.
Without diversions.
I'll be quiet. I won't say
Brought to you by Abbott Laboratories.
And for yesterday's sports, we'll start first with baseball. Game 3 of the American League Championship Series last night. It was the Toronto Blue Jays beating the Seattle Mariners 13-4. Seattle still leads that series, best of 7 series, 2-1. Game 4 is tonight, and that will be Toronto at Seattle again, and with the Mariners leading that series 2-1.
Who are you rooting for? What two teams do you want to see or believe will be in the World Series?
I would rather not see the Dodgers, although they look like they're going to win it now. They're up 2 games to nothing. So I suppose even though Milwaukee is a competitor with the Cubs, I suppose I'd rather see Seattle and Milwaukee be my preference.
Okay, but who do you think will actually be?
Who do I think will be there?
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, I'm confident the Dodgers will close out their series against the Milwaukee Brewers. Toronto looked awfully good last night. Seattle's pitching has been questionable through the year, although they won those first 2 games. I'm going to say it's going to be Toronto and the Dodgers.
I do too. How about the other two?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As much as I'd like to see
That's good, Terry.
the Brewers in it, I think that slipping behind, 2-0 is really going to do them in.
Yeah.
It's like they forgot that they had the best record in baseball. And, what are we doing here? This seems awful high where I'm standing. They've kind of lost their mojo.
Okay, so much for no diversions on this
Right,
sports
yeah,
event.
sorry.
I didn't do
Sorry
it.
about
I didn't
that.
start it, Roger. You
Terry,
did.
I wish you hadn't done that.
You did it.
NFL football tonight, Roger, your favorite 2 teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cincinnati Bengals. No, that's actually an AFC North division.
No contest.
And Pittsburgh, they have looked awfully good with 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Cincinnati, unfortunately, limping along here because Joe Burrow, their number 1 quarterback, is injured and out for a few more weeks. And they are going with Joe Flacco, who they traded to get a couple weeks ago from the Cleveland Browns. Joe Flacco is 40 years old. It's been a while since we've had 2 40-plus-year-old quarterbacks playing against each other in a game, but that's what we'll see tonight. Both very good quarterbacks, still having very good and successful seasons at the advanced age. Pittsburgh is a 4.5-point favorite. Hey, advanced
I know for football, but
Yeah,
40
NFL
years old,
football.
advanced. I got kids 40
I'm in
years
trouble.
old.
What word do you use for me?
And Methuselah's up to
Yeah,
bat.
okay.
Chicago Bears, they're 3-2. They came off that off weekend to give a good performance Monday, beating the Washington Commanders with that last-second field goal. Bears now 3-2 on the season, and they'll go for their 4th win in a row on Sunday. They have a noon game at home against the New Orleans Saints. Saints are 1-5 on the season, and the Bears are 4.5-point favorites, so go Bears. College football news, the Illinois Fighting Illini dropped out of the top 25 after losing to Ohio State, but they are 26th in terms of numbers of votes received. So they are just outside the top 25. Probably will move back in if they can win this week. They're 5-2 overall, 2-2 in the Big Ten. Actually, I mean next game they win because they are off this week. Their next game is a week from Saturday, playing at Washington on October 25th. And Washington is no pushover either. They're 5-1, 2-1 in the Big Ten, but they do play Michigan this Saturday. Their 2 wins are over Maryland and Rutgers, so 2 of the weaker teams of the Big Ten. So Washington's record is nice, but I think that's a game Illinois can win, even though it's on the road out at Washington a week from Saturday. And Notre Dame, they moved up to number 13 this week's ranking with their 4th win in a row. They beat North Carolina State last Saturday. They're 4-2 overall. They'll play USC Saturday night. USC 5-1 on the season. That game will be on NBC at 6:30 p.m. Notre Dame a 9.5-point favorite. And the big news last night, Chicago Blackhawks beat the St. Louis Blues 8-3. I don't know if we have any St. Louis Blues fans here, but I've been a Blackhawks fan since I was a kid. So,
Well, you live in Lansing, Illinois, not far from the Blackhawk
I
Arena.
think the only game I saw when I was a kid was my mom took our Cub Scout troop up to a game in 1960.
Boy, would I like to be in
That
your
was
Boy
the year-
Scout
That was
troop.
Bobby Hull,
Wow.
Stan McKee,
Yeah.
Glenn Hall was the
Yeah.
goalie, and they won the Stanley Cup that year. So that's how I kind of became a Blackhawks fan. Really loved the game and followed them. And of course, they won 3 Stanley Cups in 6 years between 2010 and 2015, and they've had some off years now here in recent years as all of their veterans. They've got the salary cap in the NHL, and that's what kills teams off. They win a couple of Stanley Cups or they get really good, and then their players all want big contracts, and they can't afford them because there's a salary cap. And so they have to start trading them off for prospects, and that's what the Blackhawks did after they won their 3rd Stanley Cup there in 2015. And Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews, Corey Crawford, all those guys are gone now. And Jonathan Toews is going to make a comeback this year. He's with, I think, Columbus Blue Jackets, and Patrick Kane plays for the Detroit Red Wings. So they're still around, but
how about the young kid started off quite well last year, and then you don't hear much about him anymore?
Actually, 2 years ago, his rookie year, he was the Rookie of the Year, Connor Bedard. He was the #1 overall pick. And last year, he kind of had, how they call it, a sophomore slump, and he did. His number of goals dropped way off, and he didn't look quite as confident, quite as good. He's playing much better this year. He really looks good this year, so I think he'll put some big numbers up by the end of this year as well. But they also, because they have been rather bad the last few years, they've gotten high draft picks, and that's managed to bring in some really good young talent, and made a couple of trades as well. And so, I think you'll see them. I don't think they'll be a Stanley Cup contender or even a contender in their division, but I think they'll be a much better team.
They won't be an embarrassment like they were last year.
They won't be at the bottom of the league like they have been the last 2 years. No.
All right, anything else there, Senator?
Nothing else going on right now.
All right, thanks. That's the latest sports news. We'll pause for this
Big
message.
football weekend coming up.
Hi, I'm Amy
Football
Grant.
games at high school.
When it comes to supporting our military, the American Red Cross is proud to serve those who serve us. When emergencies happen, the Red Cross helps connect service members with their families. There are many ways you can get involved, from volunteering at military or veterans hospitals to helping military families cope with the challenges of deployments. Please support the American Red Cross service to the armed forces. Go to redcross.org. Thank you.
I'm a doctor.
I'm a teacher.
I live in the South.
California is my home.
I speak fluent Spanish.
No hablo español.
I have brown eyes.
My eyes are blue.
We're very different people, but we do have something in common. I made a donation to the Red Cross.
When disaster struck and I needed help, her gift to the American Red Cross changed my life.
When you support the American Red Cross, you change a life, starting with your own.
Call 1-800-RED-CROSS or visit redcross.org and find out about life-changing opportunities in your area.
All right, we continue with hour number 3 of Breakfast with Roger and Friends. And, this is somewhat of a surprise for Dr. Sidler and Mike Dentino and also Terry Crowley. I've taken a lot of abuse this morning, and so I've called the Sheriff's Department, and Chris Watkins is very kind enough to say, I'll come in and I'll listen to these boobs that you're working with.
They sent the big guy.
Exactly. Well, I don't mess around.
Right to the top.
Chris Watkins, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me,
guys. A couple of things we want to talk about, and one of which, boy, they did quite a number on The Last Chance, and you've been in law enforcement for many, many years. Have you ever seen anything that's been vandalized so much like this place was?
We've seen a lot of vandalism. Like, we've had some churches vandalized pretty good, but this is the most I've ever seen a building vandalized. They did a great job getting it already back up and going for the most part.
I think
we were
amazed they're open today.
Really? I don't think they're open right now, but I think they're open later on today. So,
wow.
But they went to great lengths pulling HVAC wiring out. Power.
They're dangerous stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the stuff you can get zapped or something.
Yeah, damaged inside, outside, threw paint cans around. It was just, I don't think it's kids. It could still, I don't want to rule that out.
Right.
We're still working through a few
There
things.
wasn't one person either.
I don't think so. I mean, no.
Well, they had an electrician, they had a plumber, they had a roofing guy,
all the trades.
And a guy, all the trades were represented.
I would still be laying there if it was me, because I would have got electrocuted. So it was somebody who knew a little bit. They were pulling breakers and everything.
Oh my God!
Wow. Yeah.
Do you think you narrow down as you talk about, and I'm sure you've interviewed the owners and so forth, that wouldn't you, even a normal person with no law experience would probably say, it has to be a disgruntled employer or employee
Well, that's
or
one of the-
employees.
Yeah, that's one of the things we're looking at right now. That and yeah, it could be a customer that they made mad. I mean, you just don't know. There's some crazy people out there.
There's
I mean, we just-
yeah.
I hope we find
Some
out.
of these
We're-
are on this show.
Yeah, but I'm glad to see they recovered so quickly.
Yeah, wow.
Because even the coolers, they broke the coolers inside and everything.
Boy,
Wow.
Does
This
Lori still
almo-
own that?
What's that?
Does Lori still own
I think
that?
so. Yeah.
it was kind of methodical, wasn't it?
Yeah, and
What time frame do you think that they were there?
So they usually close at 2, but I think they closed, from what I'm told by the detectives, they closed a little earlier that night. So a passerby around 3:30 drove by and saw the kegs out in the middle of the road, and the sign. They pulled the sign out in the middle of the road, and
They
so
probably said-
Well, threw it out on Alta?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
They probably said that must have been quite a party last night.
Yeah.
heck of a party.
Yeah, so we showed up, and then we had the employee come in, let us in. We saw everything was broke inside too. So it's kind of it's not a very populated area. There's some big neighborhoods by it, but if you actually
Right.
look at it, there's about 2 or 3 businesses. We're not having a ton of luck on cameras at the moment either, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
So
You've
You've
got
gotta
the
have
trailhead right
cameras.
there, so it's it is
Shamrock's
kind of
got cameras, I think, don't they?
well, maybe maybe.
they're looking at all those.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, it's I lived in Addingham Park, that neighborhood
Yeah.
right there, and it's not very far away. But yeah, it is kind of the dark little corner, and in spite of the fact that you have a decent amount of traffic coming up and down Alta Road, yeah, late at night it is desolate.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I hope we find out who it is.
Did you dust for prints?
We had our crime scene out immediately. We just hope, there's
Did he DNA, did you?
there's people know who did this, so we're
Sure.
Yeah,
we're hoping somebody
sure.
helps us out too. That helps a little bit too.
Well, it's just like anything else. There was I'm guessing from the sound of the damage extent, it was more than one person likely, and A, there's no honor among thieves. B, someone is very proud of the work they did, and they're not going to be able to contain themselves.
No.
So
I agree. So.
Someone's loudmouth. I mean, I tell you what, if I do a search on Facebook right now, I'd say I've got a 50-50 chance of turning up someone saying, "Look what I did."
Oh, yeah.
Or on the other hand, and I know you will give the phone number for people who might have driven by and saw some cars or trucks or whatever the case may be of the suspects parked there. They didn't walk there to get there in all probability
they could've
unless they
parked-
parked elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if some people living in the neighborhood or some people who drive by there at a certain time of the day or night, if they saw something that is notable, do you have a number for them to call?
Yeah, 697-8515.
Okay.
Or call Crime Stoppers, or we have our own app now. You can. I don't care if the tip's anonymous. Just let us know.
Is there a reward?
Crime Stoppers gives rewards for felonies, and like I said, this person's looking at 2 felonies. But
So is it a big reward? Because I might have a name. I might have a name.
where were you at?
Chris, he has no idea where he was at. And
At
so
3 a.m.?
Rule him out for anything he says. Well, what are the felonies?
Business burglary and criminal damage over. I don't know. We don't know the exact amount yet. Initially it was 100,000, but if they got some, I'm sure they know contractors. If they recovered that quick, that amount might go down a little bit. But it looked really bad.
Was there water? Did they break water lines? Was it a lot of water?
No water lines
Oh,
that I
okay.
saw. No,
Okay.
no. I went through all the pictures and saw it was more busting windows inside and tipping over everything. Like I said, it
Somebody
could
was
be
ticked
kids,
off.
but I just don't think it is.
Well,
Kids?
something
Yeah.
like that. Do they wake you up in the middle of the night and say, "Hey, we've got a major incident," or do they wait until you feel better about getting up?
I found out about 5 a.m. when I got
Okay,
out. Yeah.
yeah.
But we had a detective out really early, and the crime scene people were out at 4 a.m.
Wow.
processing it.
Yeah,
So.
I understand your department has received a major grant for law enforcement.
We've received several. We've been doing really well on grants. We did. We got a $31,000 grant. It doesn't sound like much, but it helps pay for a lot of our investigative software for retail thefts. This is year number 2 for that grant that we got through Attorney General's office. because retail theft is a big thing, even though you don't hear a lot about it on the news.
It's big.
It's a thing, I'm telling you. And a lot of it's not reported. I was talking to the manager at one of our big stores locally, and she's like, we don't even report half the stuff that gets stolen. So it's unfortunate, and it's a big deal, though, because it could drive businesses out. So.
You know, interesting, Chris, one of my favorite stores, and the favorite store of many people in Peoria and Central Illinois, was Bergner's. And I remember interviewing, they were a big supporter of the St. Jude telethon, talking to the general manager of the Bergner store, and we talked about shoplifting. And he told me the major source for shoplifting were their own employees.
Oh,
and I was shocked to hear that.
Yeah, that's not terribly shocking because.
Was to me.
Well, I mean,
That's
they call it shrinkage.
Yeah.
And it's, hey, people, you're not watching the back door. You're not watching the employees coming in and out at 6:30 in the morning when you open, or 11 o'clock at night when you close. And some people have big lunch boxes or bags, and it's like, well, I'm not getting paid enough to do this, so this is my personal bonus.
Yeah, I want to know where the decaf coffee I brought in went to. We have to ask some people, right?
Well, we had the family gathering and used it for that. So grant writing is a big thing.
It is. I mean, we want to capture that money. There's a lot of federal money and state money out there, so I'd rather use that money instead of all of our local taxpayer money. We just got a $300,000 grant for a NIBIN machine, which it looks at our casings that we get on shootings, and then also a legal gun that we get on like a traffic stop. It matches the gun to the shootings. We're the only.
So the rifling, you mean?
Yeah, the rifling. So
really?
Every casing has its own fingerprint, like a rifling.
Right, yeah.
So.
And you have a machine now that does that?
We have a machine that goes through the ATF. We're the only sheriff's office in the state of Illinois to receive that.
Because otherwise it had to go down to the crime lab, huh?
It would have to go to, yep. So we can do this within minutes now,
cool.
which is cool, yeah. And it's amazing how many times you see shell casings match each other on different shootings. And the city has one, but we have even a newer piece of equipment that's going to help them out also. So we're going to let everybody around here use that equipment.
Cool.
So.
Have you had any splash over, you might say, from the news of Legionnaire's disease?
No, thankfully, yeah. I feel for that Sheriff Lauer over there. He's
great. Okay. Well, I thought there's a problem there. I can move over here.
Yeah.
It sometimes goes undetected. Wow, Terry.
We have some equipment tied to our water system that is supposed to not allow that happen. So yeah, no, he's navigating that. It's that's not on the sheriff bingo card, I don't think.
No, not on the agenda. Since we're talking about the jail, I was on the county board when the plans were drawn up for the current facility, and some said, oh, it didn't make it large enough. And of course, as you know, the old saying, build it and they will come. I don't care what size it is. What's the health of your facility out there?
Yeah, we hired consultants 2 years ago, and they came in and gave us some options. Looks like we're definitely leaning towards renovating what we have. Construction's extremely expensive right now. Because there's a 98, the newer portion was built in 98, and then there's the 84 section. It kind of puts us in a really unique situation where we're really not ready for a new jail, which costs almost $200 million, which we can't. No way, right? Yeah. No way. We're not. Maybe 30 years from now, when technology and things are different, we can probably build actually a smaller, more efficient jail. So we're going to fix what we have now and get it through to that time. So a lot of, not the sexy stuff. It's plumbing and electrical and toilets and sinks that we need to replace just to make sure that the place is functional. We are going to address some of the mental health issues that we have in the jail, because when it was built, it wasn't built for that. So we have some ideas for that too. But yeah, we don't want to raise taxes to do this.
What's your capacity out there?
So over 500. When they did the addition back in '98, it was over 500. And when I started,
and how many do you have out there?
Right now we're at
600.
290.
Oh,
290. Yeah.
Okay.
When I started back,
so you got room.
We do have a room.
Okay.
We do.
All right.
And that's where I think when you build a new jail, you don't have to build it so big either. So we don't know what the population is going to look like. We've been hovering around 300 for a while.
Have you been impacted by the cashless bail system in terms of occupancy at the jail?
Not as bad as other jails. A lot of jails have seen their population go down.
I would think.
with ours, we had such a violent 21, 22, and 23. All those shooters are still detained in our jail. So until those cases get moved on, then I think we'll get down to 240, 250-ish. But right now we have over 30 people in jail that are in for murder, and the rest of them are pretty much shooters. So
How many in jail for murder?
30, around 30. Yep.
And the rest are shooters.
Most of them.
So
yep.
somebody didn't die, but they still tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
we're seeing a lot of the property crime people, they're getting kicked out the next day. That's
I
the
didn't
frustration
realize the
part.
numbers were so bad. Is that one of the reasons why you're bald? No, I'm just kidding. Shouldn't say that to a guy that carries a gun.
You're taking your chances there.
It's cheaper. I don't have to go to Jim's barber shop like my kids do.
You just have the guy that shines shoes to it. That's terrible, right? You'll never want to come back.
I get it everywhere. It's all good.
Do you care to comment on being called down to, we'll call it the incident at Main Street and Monroe? I know you, they called for help and talk about how you responded, your department.
Yeah, we had several deputies that work in that area. They responded. They called for help, so our guys don't hesitate. They go and help. We have a great relationship with Peoria PD, and I was literally on the phone with the chief on the way here, so we talk a ton. So I watched some of our guys' body cameras before it was released. It was disappointing to see how they were treating our guys, just yelling, cussing at them, no respect at all. And our guys.
We're trying to help a guy who got shot.
I know, and our guys are, the city they were the ones tending to them. Our guys weren't. Our guys were more crowd control, but just sitting there watching and instead of the people just leaving, they just sat there and antagonized our deputies, and the police officers. But our guys have seen it before, and they stand there. They're professional.
Right.
It is what it is.
Do you think that it means a minor red flag to consider the issuing of 4 a.m. liquor licenses?
Well, nothing good happens after midnight. We want to make sure the economy's good in Peoria, but I don't know. After 2 a.m., it gets all blurry.
It does.
All about the same.
Yeah.
The last time we talked to you, which was quite some time ago, you were running for the office of sheriff, and you were successful. Remind everybody a little bit about who Chris Watkins is.
Yeah, I'm a lifelong Peorian. I was in the military, was active duty in England, Iraq, and New Mexico. Came back here and started in the jail. Just worked my way up, and it's been a fast 3 years. I'm up for election again next year already.
Wow.
I'm doing
Really?
petitions.
We'll try to stop by between now and then.
Yeah.
A couple
I know.
times.
Please invite me more.
Yeah. Well, good. That's good. What motivated you to get into law enforcement?
I did a ride along when I was 16 years old, and once I did it, I loved it. I was like, this is what I want to do. Not just driving fast and carrying a gun. It's a little bit of everything. It was just, I love the investigations part of it. I love being a detective. Who doesn't like the detective stuff?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate to be undercover and detective, and that was probably the best years of my law enforcement, was doing that stuff. Besides the politics part of this is.
Which sheriffs did you work for?
Mike McCoy hired me, and then Asbel.
Okay.
Regardless of party affiliation, I think Peoria County, and I'm old enough to remember when Abraham Lincoln came to town and represented some people in jail. But we've really been very fortunate with the leadership in the Sheriff's Department of Peoria County. Historically.
Yeah, I think we have a really good thing going with Peoria PD and us. We have the right people in the right places, I think. I have a great team. We're almost fully staffed. That was one of the big reasons why Asbel left, was the staffing was just horrible around everywhere. And by this January, we'll be fully staffed.
Great.
So
good.
And that's a struggle because you're competing with other counties and other police departments and so forth, financially and otherwise. So it's really a competitive business today.
It is, and we're seeing really good quality candidates, which is nice. You have to have that in policing, or it's going to bite you in the butt. And we saw that before.
Right.
So.
What are the requirements if somebody is listening, like Terry Crowley, who might be interested in becoming
I'd go see Doug Harriman out at ICC.
Yeah, Doug comes out quite a bit. We have a good partnership with him.
What are the qualifications?
So for a correctional officer, I just lowered it a couple months ago to 18, but we're very picky, especially with our jail population. You got to be the right person.
I'm just going to tell us why that is probably more risky than guys, and it could be a debate, who patrol at night. The jail people who work there, tell us about the risks they face every day.
I think correction officers, it's because of the mental health. 60% of our 300 people have mental health issues. So, wow, they're all on psychotropic drugs. I mean, I spend over $3 million. We all spend over $3 million a year for jail medical. I mean, wow, and mental health. It's crazy. They almost doubled our price last year because of the legal. Because Illinois, what they told me was Illinois is the 6th lawsuit-friendly state in the United States.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of that $3 million goes to legal fees because when they sue us for a medical, it goes to that jail medical provider, which is nice because we had nothing to do with it anyway. And a lot of lawsuits are frivolous anyway. They're pro bono or whatever, pro se. No, it is dangerous. Being a deputy is very dangerous too. Every car stop, you don't know what
you're going to encounter.
Yeah, we've had several deputies shot at over the last few years. So both jobs are dangerous, but they're very rewarding. And luckily, our county board's pretty good right now. They gave them good raises.
Good.
I mean, things are going well right now.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
You got to stay competitive. I don't want to get too far into the weeds, but I remember back in the days when we had the nursing home. And they had laundry facilities and did the laundry at the jail. You don't have your own laundry, but you do continue to have your own kitchen.
We have our own kitchen. We have our own laundry.
You do?
Yeah, we have a couple female detainees that do the laundry at night. We pay them a little bit for that. We just switched over because of no cash bail. I only have violent offenders for the most part. So the trustees we had working in the kitchen were pretty violent and shouldn't be working in the kitchen. So we had to hire.
No wonder the food was bad. As a PR guy, when they leave, they have fill out a questionnaire. Food bad.
Yeah. If you look at our Google reviews, they're not great.
And you want to celebrate that. Anything to keep them out of jail. Such as you don't want to come here because the food stinks.
No, they get to order additional food. They have a lot of perks too. I mean, we have more graduates in GED this year than we've ever had. We have the reentry program with Carl Cannon. So we do a lot for the people that want to change. There's a lot of people in there that don't want to change, and they're just going to keep coming back. So,
it's interesting. You do have, and I'm glad you brought it up, a wonderful support system with Carl Cannon, and I believe Hetty Elliott is still involved at the jail.
Yeah.
And that's a labor of love for both of them.
It is.
For what they do.
We're lucky, Peoria. We have some really good stakeholders that are, it makes this place good. It really does. No matter what you hear, we have a good thing in Peoria.
What would you say your recidivism rate is?
Well,
90%.
I would say in the people that we send through Carl's program, we've only had 4 or 5 reoffend.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's great.
But we're only putting 15 or 20 in a class.
But still, that's
it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. The ones that aren't going through the program, unfortunately, we're just seeing it's the same faces over and over. I mean, I'm seeing people 30 times.
Wow.
Come through. It's crazy.
Did we ever fully answer the question? I know Terry likes to interrupt.
So wait a minute, Raj.
One of the qualifications, again, you lowered the age 18.
For corrections, yeah. And then 21.
They have to have a GED or
you have to have a high
at
school,
least a high school diploma.
For both, for deputy, it's 21, and you don't have to have a college degree as long as I love having people have military backgrounds, but not all. But being 21 and being a good person, we love hiring from the jail. Like I started in the jail. I think we're getting ready to hire a few more correction officers as deputies.
What do they typically annually start at?
I think with the new raises, I think corrections are like 55,000, and then
well, I'm out of here.
Deputies 65. But I mean, they
see you got an application.
You got your apps in your pocket.
They get take-home cars. They get longevity
you get
bonuses.
A car? You get a gun?
Yeah, I mean it's a good gig. It's a good deal.
Boy, I
but
guess
they need it.
Do
Though.
you get a gun or you
do we have things interesting? You're talking about 51,000. What do we start a teacher at?
They're probably up there now too, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't think it's 51.
No, I think it's somewhere between the high 30s to the mid 40s.
About 15, 18 bucks an hour?
It's in the
15, 20 bucks
Yeah.
an hour?
And in many ways, teachers are law enforcement officers because
Today,
with
yeah.
today's student population, unfortunately, all you need to have is 5% of the student population or even less to have trouble in a school.
Yeah, and you know, it's hard to find people that want to work on a Friday night at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
You know, especially the younger generation. So you got to at least pay them well to want to do that. You know.
If they are interested, how do they go about applying?
On our website, but actually 2 weeks ago we pulled our application off the website because we have such a good hiring pool and we're almost fully staffed. So I'm
Really?
giving my staff actually a couple months of break to be not going through applications. We will open those back up at the first of the year, but I want to. We've been working so hard for the last 4 years. I want to give them at least a few mons break.
Well,
on
good for
processing.
you. That shows good leadership on your part. You know, one of the things that I'd like you to, in the little time we have left remaining, to talk about the fact that you also provide law enforcement services for towns and villages in Peoria County that do not have a police force.
Yeah, we have probably over 15 community contracts. We're 24/7 at the airport. We're 24/7 at West Peoria. Bellevue, we have 8 hours a day. Princeville, we have 8 hours a day. Brimfield, Hannah City, Glassford, not Glassford.
Chillicothe.
Chillicothe has their own.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm missing a couple, but we have a bunch. Medina Township. So it's good for deputies. It's a resume builder for them. It teaches them to talk. That's how I learned how to talk to people, is going to West Peoria Community, you know, the council meetings and the night out against watch and talking to people. As a 21-year-old, you really don't know how to talk to people. So that's
West Peoria's, they're a rough bunch in West Peoria.
I love it.
Especially that mayor.
The mayor.
I'm going to say, renegade mayor Jim Dillon.
I love West
and
Peoria. I love it.
Oh, you better love him. But at any rate, interestingly, the chairman of the board is Jimmy Dillon,
Yeah.
the mayor's son, who is a super nice guy. A little known factoid, a member of the Dillon family, extended family, you might say, is sitting in this room.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
After Gene Sidler.
Yeah.
Indirect.
There are all those trouble spots in West Peoria, like the Tartan Inn and the Owl's Nest.
Well, I always joke, I wish I could put like a fence around West Peoria, because I mean West Peoria is so good. A lot of our problems is some rental properties or pass-through traffic. You know.
What is the most major crime that's committed in Peoria County?
Well, in the city or the county? The county.
Yes.
So right now, county, we've been really cracking down on traffic enforcement. I don't know if
Have
you've
you
noticed, but
No,
it has
I
been
have
so
not noticed
bad.
that, and I
Yeah.
don't want to notice it.
Yeah,
I don't know that.
we, COVID we kind of went hands off during COVID because that's what we were told to do. So driving habits got so bad. So now we have really, we've been hitting those main arteries, Route 24, 29, 150, and we're starting to see. We haven't, knock on wood, we haven't had a fatal accident since the beginning of the year. I mean, we're really starting to see driving habits get better. It's still not great, but it's we're helping.
Have you ever considered at the county level having those speed cameras or the red light cameras?
That's a hot topic. I have no control over that. That has to take ordinances. I think you're seeing Chicago maybe has misused those.
Yeah.
There is one on the interstate. If you saw the van, a lot of people have been getting tickets on the interstate and construction
I did not know
zones.
that. Where is that?
That is a speed camera, yeah.
Where
I mean,
is
it says it right there. It was on the Route 6 one, 474 Route 6.
I'll-
right
Oh,
there.
And that's a good
Okay.
place to put it.
It is.
Yeah.
Hey, and I've talked to state's attorneys. I mean, everyone's going 20 mile an hour over, and it looks like it's about an $800 ticket if you get caught. So
You want to describe that van again?
Yeah, where exactly is this? I can-
but it's construction zones, right? So I mean, that's
Yeah.
our number one
And a
safe
good
priority.
placement
Yeah,
for
you
it,
see all the construction workers
Right.
out there. I mean, there's a ton of construction going on right now.
Well,
So-
And
74,
remind
yeah.
everybody that as I understand, those signs, those speed limit signs, are applicable on weekends and holidays, are they not?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Even though the workers aren't there, it's still, the law still applies.
From my understanding, yes. You don't want to chance it. Put it that way.
You know what I see people not doing is the Scots Law thing. I don't see people moving
Going over,
Yeah.
It's better than what it used to be.
It is. It's
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
because you're supposed to pull over no matter who's sitting there. Not if a cop has got a
Even-
car pulled
Even
over,
tow
but
trucks.
whatever's there, you're supposed to pull. And I don't see
If
people
you can
doing
do
that
so
as
safely.
much.
Well, if you can do, if not, you better slow down. Is quite a bit.
Yeah. All right, Chris, don't be a stranger.
No,
We'll
nice
have
seeing
you
you all.
again.
Nice
Good to see
seeing
you.
you.
You bet.
Always good. Take
Yeah.
care of you here.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 of us are very similar in
Yes.
appearance.
One of these is not like the other.
Is that Rogaine? Is that Rogaine?
That doesn't work. I tried that one.
I did too, twice. Chris, thanks for coming
nice seeing
in.
you
We'll
guys.
be right back.
Hi, I'm Amy Grant. When it comes to supporting our military, the American Red Cross is proud to serve those who serve us. When emergencies happen, the Red Cross helps connect service members with their families. There are many ways you can get involved, from volunteering at military or veterans hospitals to helping military families cope with the challenges of deployments. Please support the American Red Cross service to the armed forces. Go to redcross.org. Thank you.
I'm a doctor.
I'm a teacher.
I live in the South.
California is my home.
I speak fluent Spanish.
No hablo español.
I have brown eyes.
My eyes are blue.
We're very different people, but we do have something in common. I made a donation to the Red Cross.
When disaster struck and I needed help, her gift to the American Red Cross changed my life.
When you support the American Red Cross, you change a life, starting with your own.
Call 1-800-RED-CROSS or visit redcross.org and find out about life-changing opportunities in your area.
Today's Pet Tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little-known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. Cat owners will tell you that their cats are every bit as communicative as dogs, yet cats are known for being aloof, but those who study cats and their behavior will tell you that cats begin to make sound as soon as they are biologically able. Cats learn quickly which sound to use to get their humans to respond appropriately. When, why, and how cats talk depends on the cat and his personality, the situation, and who he is talking to. Each cat will learn what their humans respond to, and that the same sound means something different to different people. Now, I think that's pretty smart. Some cats talk to you when you come home. They talk when you are feeding them. They talk to their toys. And then there are other cats that would only vocalize under extreme conditions, like when you step on their tail. As to who is teaching who, it's debatable, and cat owners don't care. They like and accept the interaction when it's offered and feel more appreciated when spoken to. Other owners are just happy to have their pets that are there but not needing a lot of attention. If you are thinking of adopting a cat, be sure to spend some time with it beforehand so that you get the right one to fit your lifestyle. Many rescue groups, humane societies, and animal organizations have rooms specifically designed for this kind of one-on-one interaction. These groups are not selling a pet, but rather placing one in a proper, loving, well-matched forever home. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's Pet Tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
With our summary of news and the weather, but Sheriff Chris Watkins. It's too interesting to interrupt that wonderful interview. So let's take a quick look at the news brought to you by Advanced Medical Transport, Central Illinois. In a time of need, A&T will be there, and they'll be there in a matter of minutes with the most skilled and advanced pre-hospital care possible. AMT, dedicated to providing a better life through better health. Mike?
Okay, Roger. Well, Peoria County Sheriff's Department reports vandals caused an estimated $1,000 in damage Tuesday night to the Last Chance Bar and Grill in Alta, north of Peoria. Sheriff Chris Watkins said it was one of the worst cases of vandalism he'd ever seen. Heating, air conditioning units were destroyed, windows were broken, power lines severed, water pipes broken, and the Second Chance beer garden was trashed. Even a nearby storage shed was damaged. Another controversy at Peoria Airport, the Homeland Security TV messages talking about the government shutdown and how it's impacting the work areas of TSA agents is not being shown on airport TV screens. They're too political, according to the airport's director, Gene Olson. However, TV sets owned by the Transportation Security Administration are showing the public service announcements at check-in areas of the airport. Several years ago, the Peoria Airport refused to fly the POW MIA flag as requested by some local veterans, including Vietnam veteran Gary Hall of Peoria. Hall enlisted the aid of Peoria State Senator Dave Kaler, and the state legislature overwhelmingly passed a bill requiring the flying of the flag at General Wayne R. Downing Airport and at all state airports. Peoria County Coroner Jamie Harwood says that the man who was shot in the head in the 2300 block of West Antoinette last Saturday has died. Harwood identified the victim as 22-year-old Kamari Davis Rickman. 3 teens, 2 16-year-olds and the other 17, have been charged with first-degree murder. And this is the city's 10th murder of the year. And a detention hearing will be held today for 17-year-old Javian Irby, Davian Webster, and Orlando Harrison, both 16, will also be at that hearing. If found guilty, the 3 could spend most of the rest of their lives in jail. And Roger, that's it for news. Not quite at the bottom of the hour anymore.
No. Well, we didn't want to miss it because, like I say, a great conversation. All right, let's get into a check of the weather sponsored by your hometown community banks, Division Morton Community Bank. 46 convenient locations in central Illinois to serve you. I love the tagline, look for the clock tower, and you'll know they have time for you and time for Terry, a member FDIC.
Clear today, high 77, 62 tonight, sunny, a little windy tomorrow, high 80, maybe some showers around midnight, low 64. Right now, it's around 59 at the Wazoo.
Big day. A big day for the Monroe family, I don't mind telling you. I welcome my oldest sister Judy, and I, and her son Eric welcome my sister from Indio, California. Yesterday.
Here?
And yes, she arrived yesterday. Going to be here for as long as she can stand us for about 5 days.
What's her name? Is that Carol?
Carol Angelello is her name, and she is from Indio. Has lived over there. Yes, you have. And so for the first time in many years, we will, as a family of 4 siblings, get together at my brother's house, Zach in Bartonville.
Nice.
Very good.
And Carol and Judy and Zach and myself will be meeting very close to the county jail.
And what'll be the family tradition that you'll all do when you're together? There's got to be something.
Talk.
Talk.
Yes.
You're all talkers like you?
All
your sisters?
No. But we each can hold their own.
Really?
Are the girls younger than the guys?
We normally don't talk about that.
Will it be a little
I
Libby?
didn't want to mention it.
Both my sisters. Zach is the oldest at 94. I am at 91 and holding. And my 2 sisters are in their 80s, we won't go any more definitive.
So
than
that's all I
that
wanted,
for a
because
minute, yeah.
I know it gets harder to travel as you get up in years, and
Yeah, Carol had a little trouble because you needed certain tools of identification.
Oh, yes.
And she didn't have everything and said, I'm going to go to the airport and make them not allow me to get on the plane.
And,
she went out and they treated her very, very well.
the Indio International Airport does not service Peoria. So
They don't even service Indio.
she probably had to drive to Orange
Probably,
County or LAX.
I think Palm Springs, I think maybe.
Palm Springs, maybe?
I'll find out more.
Well, are they all
Get
coming in
together.
someday? We ought to have them all on the show someday. But they need to come in so we
I've
can
talked
see
to
them.
their agents, and they said, my youngest sister in particular said, no way.
No,
Yeah,
right.
And
I
because
think
she
they want
is
nothing
in,
to do with that.
and since she's in
as far away as they can.
California, not far from the border, she said, no way, Jose.
Oh, well, I hope you have a good time. I mean, I know you'll have a good time.
The
That'll be great.
official Spanish official language out in Indio.
Yeah.
You know, Jonathan was told us story about how he went into the bank in Santa Barbara and to make a withdrawal, and he said, the clerk said, Mr. Winters, do you ever make a deposit? Anyway, have fun today. Gosh, is Chris Watkins a nice guy, or is he a nice
Super
guy?
nice guy. Have him on
Yeah,
again.
Yeah, we'll do that. And we thank you, Mike, as always, for your
Always a pleasure.
appearance on a Thursday morning. Thank you for coming in and for your wit of humor, and most importantly, for your Casey's Donuts.
Well,
That's,
I'm here to please.
Have a great day. Gene, we'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see you tomorrow.
I'll be here
No,
tomorrow.
you will. Are you here tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Are you?
You
better be.
Here, but not all there.
Have a great day, everybody. Remember, God loves you, and so do we.